critters back into people. I fetched your robe for you. You might catch cold. That cough is getting worse. Of course, you got nobody to blame but yourself. I warned you not to let that frogman get you in the water. You're just lucky he didn't turn you into a frog like he done the others. Hello? Can I speak to Dr. Klingler, please? Oh, mercy. He is. Well, thanks anyway. Goodbye. Well, you're in for trouble now, Shorty Kellums. The doctor's out of town. Well, you sit up here at the table, and I'll fetch you some hot victuals.
Smells like corn, bone, hog jowls, and turnip greens. How soon is victuals?
Nobody gets fed until I take care of that poor little fellow over yonder.
What's he doing up at the table?
Waiting for hot victuals.
Mark feeds him raw fish.
You can tell that 5 feet away. But from now on, he gets treated decent.
You don't feed our kind of victuals to an animal like that.
Don't call him an animal.
That's what Mark calls him.
It's Mark that should be called an animal. His name is Shorty.
Right fitting name. Well, let's get the bathrobe off him.
No, you don't. He ain't sitting in my kitchen, jaybird naked.
He ain't supposed to wear clothes. He's a water critter.
Thanks to your friend, the frogman.
Well, Mark says when we go to farm in the ocean, critters like him will be dandy little workhorses.
Mark Templeton is an inhuman monster.
Now, Granny.
Who's his next victim gonna be? Me? What's he gonna do, turn me into a turtle?
You ain't making sense. I'm gonna take this little fella back down to Cement Pond.
You keep your hands off of him and get out of my kitchen.
But Mark says he belongs in the water.
You send Mark in here to see me. I got a few words to say to him.
Now, Granny, don't fly off the handle.
You send him in here. I ain't in no mood to be crossed.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, Shorty, why didn't you listen to me and stay out of the water? Now look at you, you poor little goomer. You can't go back to Silver Dollar City and run a hotel looking like that.
What's she doing with the seal in the kitchen?
I don't know, but she wants you in there, too.
Uh-oh. Looks like I'm gonna catch the dickens.
I'm afraid so. You want me to go in with you?
No, seal was my idea. I'll face the music.
We ain't likely to get victuals till you do. Oh, let me give you a little tip. She has named the seal Shorty.
Thanks, I'll remember.
Come in.
Hello, Granny. Hi, Shorty. Something sure smells good in here.
Well, it ain't him. I can tell you that.
Shorty, you shouldn't be in the house. I'll put you back in the pond.
No. He's sitting right here and gonna eat hot victuals.
Nothing but raw fish for him.
Now, let me tell you this. He ain't going back to the cement pond, and he ain't eating no more raw fish.
Well, Granny, if you feel that way, I'll just take him down and drop him in the ocean.
That does it. Now, hear this, sailor boy. I'm going for my shotgun. And when I come back, Shorty Kellums better be sitting in this chair. And I mean Shorty Kellums himself, and not this poor-looking, pitiful critter.
Well, I'll do my best. You heard her, Shorty. Let's go find the other Shorty.
I wouldn't go in there yet, Shorty.
Ain't victuals ready?
They might be, but Granny ain't.
Shorty, come here, quick.
What you on?
Sit down at the table. Hurry.
I don't want to eat like this.
Shorty, please, you gotta be sitting at that table before Granny gets back.
I ain't washed up yet.
Sit here. I will be.
I wish I knowed what this is all about.
Shorty! Oh, Shorty, darling, I'm so happy to see you.
Don't squeeze me too hard, Granny. I'm awful holler. I ain't ate since morning.
Shorty, I'm going to give you the greatest meal you ever had in your whole life.
Hallelujah!
It It'll make you forget what that frogman done to you.
You mean Mark?
Mark the monster.
He ain't no monster. He's a nice feller.
Shorty, have you forgot the terrible thing that he done to you?
He didn't do nothing terrible. In fact is, Granny, he's an officer and a gentleman, and I like him.
You do, huh?
Yes, Mom. Now, how about that meal you promised me?
Okay. Here you are.
I don't think I'd call this the best meal I ever had. I sure hope it tastes better than it smells.
Well, Granny, I'm sorry you wouldn't eat with us them was scrumptious victuals.
Best hog gels and turnip greens you ever made, Granny.
And that corn pone and sorghum is fabulous.
Wasn't that a dandy meal, Shorty?
Sure beats raw fish.
And guess who's doing the dishes? Jethro.
Yeah, he volunteered to stay behind and clean up the kitchen.
Ain't that wonderful? You all right, Granny?
I'm the only one in this family that is.
Well, if you get hungry, Granny, there's a great big pile of leftovers on the stove.
Mighty delicious.
Make you feel better to eat.
Jethro, you clean up everything already?
Sure. How long do you think it takes to eat a pot of leftovers? Oh, and Granny, I piled all the dirty dishes in the sink for you.
I'll help you, Granny.
If you want to help me, you jump in that flivver of yours and go on back home.
Not yet. Not till I've been to the pool.
You don't aim to go back in the water, do you?
No, I mean the secretarial pool down at the bank. It's full of pretty girls.
Get out of here, you little rooster.
I'm single. I'm entitled to a fling.
I'll give you a fling right out of the upstairs window.
I'm going.
Well, I'm glad to hear you're out of that straitjacket, Miss Jane. Now, when I come down to take out my money, it won't upset you all over again, will it?
Of course it won't upset me. I'm perfectly fine. That straitjacket was Mr. Drysdale's invention.
Oh, he's a clever fella. It'd fit you real good.
Oh, he's clever, all right. He's my #1 nemesis.
Well, I'm glad to hear he's your friend. I'll see you down the bank.
You going to the bank, Jed?
That's right, Shorty. I'm going to take out some money.
I'll drive you. I'm going to take out something myself.
Excuse me, Miss Hathaway. Here's the certified check you ordered for $48 million, charged against Mr. Clampett's account.
Thank you, Miss Gordon. This is a moment of great triumph for me.
What do you mean?
A similar check was issued earlier. But to keep Mr. Clampett from using it, that unprincipled scoundrel had 2 guards force me into a straitjacket and gag me. And then he told Mr. Clampett that the idea of his withdrawing all that money had driven me mad.
What a terrible man.
Indeed he is. I shall take great delight in watching him scream and yell and climb the walls in fury and frustration.
Can I watch too?
Oh, be my guest. Chief, it gives me great pleasure to announce that Mr. Jed Clampett is on his way to this temple of greed to withdraw $48 million.
Really?
Yes, and I want you to know that this is a great moment for me.
For me too, Miss Hathaway.
I've tried to tell you that honesty is the best policy. What'd you say?
As I was driving to the bank this morning, I almost had a collision with a huge truck.
Oh.
Suddenly, my whole life flashed before me. I saw in terrifying detail all the mean and petty things I've done. The schemes I had to get money, the lies I've told, the people I've wronged.
Chief.
I lived again those many times when you counseled the course of truth and justice. But I chose greed and avarice. You pointed to the high road, but I took the low road. I said to myself, Milburn, put your house in order. You never know when you'll be summoned to stand before that great bank examiner in the sky. And so I say to you, Miss Hathaway, and bear witness, Miss Gordon, I'm deeply sorry for my transgressions against you and deeply grateful for your never-failing loyalty and friendship. I think you deserve a reward.
My reward is seeing this glorious transformation take place in you, that there's awakening to the power of truth, honor.
As always, your sentiments are noble and unselfish. But I insist you accept this token of my gratitude.
$100?
Ah, it's little enough. Just take the rest of the day off and go out shopping.
Oh, but my work,
Oh, Miss Gordon here will fill in for you.
Oh, gladly. It'll be a privilege working for you, Mr. Drysdale.
Now, go out into the bright sunshine, happy in the thought that you have helped this old sinner to repent. Do you like working here, Miss Gordon?
Oh, I certainly do.
Yeah, would you like to continue working here?
Oh, indeed I would.
Fine, fine. Now, I have 2 jobs for you. Oh, you'll find a nurse's uniform in that dressing room there. Put it on.
A nurse's uniform?
Yes, when Mr. Clampett arrives, you're going to be my keeper.
I don't understand.
Oh, you will. The second job is to stop payment on Miss Hathaway's check.
Mr. Drysdale, I'm terribly disillusioned.
I'll make a note of it.
But I thought you had changed.
What gave you that idea?
Well, you said your whole life flashed before you.
It did. I loved it. Now get in there.
Yes, sir.
Don't worry about me, Shorty. I'll get home. You have fun. Oh, hi, ma'am. Jed Clampett to see Mr. Drysdale.
Yes, Mr. Clampett.
Somebody sick?
I'm afraid so.
Is it Miss Jane?
No, it's Mr. Drysdale.
When did he take down?
When Miss Hathaway told him you were coming in to withdraw $48 million.
Is that you, Mr. Drysdale?
I am the Emperor of France. Josephine, who is this man?
Well, you know me. I'm Jed Clampett.
Are you from Wellington?
No, sir, I'm from Bug Tussle.
You're not a member of my staff. They're all here.
Well, no, Mr. Drysdale.
I am Napoleon Bonaparte.
Well, okay, Mr. Bonaparte. I just come down here to draw up my money.
No? Just when my poor armies are retreating across the frozen steppes of Russia?
Well,
But my brave men are freezing. They're starving. They need food. They need clothing. Oh, please, don't withdraw your support now. They'll perish.
I don't want to starve or freeze nobody.
Oh, thank you. All of France thanks you. This is the highest decoration my country can bestow.
I think I better be going.
Wait, I have another medal for you.
Well, you keep it, Mr. Drysdale. It looks real good on you.
Hey, Granny, watch out. You're gonna brain somebody.
It won't be nobody in this family. They ain't got nothing to bring. Put all my stuff in the truck. You're driving me to the airport.
Where you going, Gran?
I'm going back home to the hills, where man is men and fish is fish, and they stays that way.
Please don't go back to the hills, Granny.
I got to, Jethro. I can't stay around and watch Ellie Mae being married to that frogman. And there don't seem no way that I can stop it.
I'm begging you, Granny, please don't go.
Oh, bless you, boy. I didn't think nobody would care.
I care. If you go, I'll die.
No, you won't.
Oh, yes, I will. I'll have to eat Ellie's cooking.
You're all heart, boy. Put my stuff out. Wait a minute. Ellie's cooking. You have just given me the greatest idea.
I'm always coming up with great ideas. What was this one?
And never mind. Where's Ellie?
She's out in the kitchen with Mark. They's doing the dishes. Oh, hey, Granny, what was that great idea I come up with?
Take my bags up to my room.
Didn't know that was my idea. Come up with so many, don't even remember.
But I don't see how changing out of your uniform's gonna help any.
Look, I'm desperate. I'll try anything to get on the good side of Granny. Maybe the uniform reminder of a revenue.
She sure never cared much for them.
Mark, my, don't you look handsome? And here's pretty little Ellie Mae in her apron. I declare you two are the picture of domestic bliss.
Well, we thought the least we could do is wash the dishes.
Yes, ma'am, after that wonderful meal you cooked.
Look who's calling who a wonderful cook. As if you ain't never tasted any of her victuals.
I never have.
You're joking.
No?
Ellie Mae, am I to understand that you have never cooked a meal for this man?
You always told me to stay out of the kitchen.
Until the right man come along. And here he is. Now, show him what you can do.
How about I cook supper for you tonight, Mark?
Wonderful.
What would you like?
Well, why don't you make him one of your out-of-this-world meatloaves? That's her pa's favorite item.
Well, Pa says you can't eat it.
You can't beat it. Yeah, that's what she says, all right.
Well, what else should I make?
Why don't you make him some of them great big donuts?
I love donuts.
Oh, hers ain't to be believed.
Sounds like I'll be in heaven tonight.
Oh, we won't let you eat that many.
Hi, Jed.
Shorty, what you doing with Mr. Drysdale's nurse?
When I went looking for you, I found her and fetched her home for a swim.
Actually, Mr. Clampett, I came to give you this.
Well, doggies, this is my check for $48 million. Mr. Drysdale must be all right, good as ever.
Well, he's as good as ever. But I wouldn't call that all right.
Jed, you reckon Ellie's got a swimming suit that fit this little doll?
I reckon so. Come on in.
You will stay for a swim, won't you, Liz?
Well, I might as well, Shorty. I'm going to get fired anyway.
How come?
Well, Mr. Drysdale doesn't know about that check.
All right, Miss Gordon, you can change out of your nurse's uniform. Miss Gordon?
Dear Napoleon, welcome to Waterloo. The check and I are at Mr. Clampett's. Au revoir, Josephine.
Kill her!
That's right, Shorty. Show off for your new girlfriend. Come on.
I see you brought home another seal.
Yeah, Shorty, you're getting lonesome.
Granny's gonna hit the roof.
No, she won't. She likes me now.
Granny does?
Yeah, we're great friends.
Since when?
Since I changed out of my uniform.
And that done it?
It sure did. She walked into the kitchen, saw me dressed like this, and we were instant buddies.
Well, if that don't beat all.
This is really my lucky day. Ellie's cooking supper for me.
Whose idea was that?
Granny's?
Uh-oh.
Something wrong?
Not yet.
Granny said Ellie's cooking is not to be believed.
She right about that. I'll see you directly.
You ready, Liz? How's it going in there? You ready for a swim, gorgeous?
No, I ain't.
No, I'm sorry, Granny. I knocked on the wrong door.
You sure did. You ain't getting me in that cement pond.
Granny, I thought you was my date.
I wouldn't date you if you was the last man on earth.
Listen, Granny.
Now you listen. If you ain't got sense enough to stay on dry land, that's your bad luck. But don't try to change me into no water critter.
I wouldn't do that.
And quit trying to lure me into the pond with that sweet talk.
That's who I was talking to. Yonder comes my date.
I'm ready, Shorty.
She's your date? That child? Why, you look like her father.
I do? He must be a handsome rascal. Elizabeth, this here's Granny. She knows your father.
Really?
Don't pay any attention to him. And don't go in the water with him. It's dangerous.
Oh, I'm an excellent swimmer.
Yeah, come on, Liz.
Honey, it ain't that. When he gets wet, he turns into the funniest looking little water goomer you've ever seen.
I don't care. I think he's kind of cute.
Wait a minute. If that don't scare you, listen to this. There's a great big frogman down there.
Really?
And if you get into the water with him, you know what will happen?
Well, I've got a pretty good idea. I used to date one.
Come on, Liz.
Coming, Shorty. The whole thing sounds real groovy.
Well, here it is, Pa. My out-of-this-world meatloaf.
Well, would you look at that? How come you didn't make it around?
Well, it's for Mark, and he's especially fond of meatballs, but Granny said make a meatloaf, so I made it in the shape.
How about meatball?
Yes, sir.
That's mighty clever, you, Ellie.
Oh, thank you, Pa. Bet you just dying for a taste.
Yeah, but I'm going to fight it.
Well, excuse me. I gotta fetch some things out of the root cellar.
Fine.
Ellie, how you coming with that? See you
Hold
later.
it, Granny.
What'd you say?
I said hold it.
All right, I'll hold it. But what is it?
It's that meatloaf you had Ellie make for Mark to eat, only I'm going to make you eat it.
Oh, you wouldn't do that, would you, Jed?
I won't on one condition. You make another one that looks just like that, only good.
Well, what will I do with this one?
Get rid of it. And another thing, tell our company that supper will be a little late tonight.
You're a hard man, Jed. Jethro, get rid of this for me.
Oh, what is it, Granny?
It's a meatball. Is Shorty and Elizabeth up at the cement pond?
Yes, ma'am.
They didn't go in the water.
Oh, yes, ma'am. They's changing now.
Oh, mercy, I'm too late. Shorty, Elizabeth, where are you? Shorty, why did you have to do it again? And Elizabeth, I pleaded with you. You were so pretty. Now look at you. Shorty, you old rooster. Can't you get your mind off of that for 1 minute?
Hello, Granny. I'm looking for Mr. Clampett.
What kind of a get-up is that?
Oh, never mind. I have to see Mr. Clampett about a check.
Well, he's around here someplace.
I'll find him. Oh, have you seen anything of a beautiful brunette secretary from my bank?
Is her name Elizabeth?
That's it. Where is she?
Swimming with Shorty. Come over here, Elizabeth. Your boss wants to see you.
This is Elizabeth?
Ain't she a mess? You remember Shorty Kellums. He runs a hotel back in Silver Dollar City.
Oh, yeah. Swell.
Hey, Mr. Drysdale, you want to shoot a few baskets?
What happened to this basketball?
Well, that ain't no basketball. That's a meatball.
Meatball.
Yeah. When we get done playing with it, we can eat it. Here, shoot it.
The first nut doesn't have a chance around here.
Paul and Jethro is up. They'll be down to breakfast in a few minutes.
Good. Let's get our signs and commence picketing for the women's lib.
Oh, Bessie, I pretty near forgot your sign. Here you are.
Ellie, them girls at the bank didn't say nothing about apes lib.
Well, Bessie's a girl.
Never mind, I hear the men are coming.
What's going on?
Read the signs.
Yeah.
Free women? Hot dog. I'll take a couple. Where is they?
What's this all about?
Us women who have suffered for centuries of
Discrimination and subservience.
yeah. And we hereby demand equality and proclaim,
Our independence from the domination of men.
right.
Where'd you hear that speech?
Oh, the girl down at the bank learned it to us.
But it's what's in the minds and hearts of women everywhere.
We got to have our freedom.
Could we talk about this after breakfast? That coffee smells awful good.
Would you like me to pour it for you?
Well, yeah, thanks.
Well, here I go, male supremacist.
What'd you do that for?
For women's lib. Make your own coffee.
Well, okay, but what's women's lib?
Liberation from the tyranny of
Chauvinistic male dictatorship.
right.
I looked all over the place. I can't find no women. These signs is what you call false advertising. Get rid of them.
How would you like to have it wrapped around your head?
Ellie, don't stoop to the level of the male brute.
Yes, ma'am, Granny. Come on, Bessie.
Uncle Jed, what are you doing?
Making coffee.
Men ain't supposed to do that. That's what women is for. Here, Granny. Get busy.
Take it easy, boy.
But I'm hungry. I want my breakfast. Hey, what does this mean?
It means that women like me is tired of being ordered around for hundreds of years.
I didn't know Granny was that old.
Jethro, why don't you go back outside?
Not till I get my breakfast. Now, here, Granny, get swinging.
I wouldn't put that notion in her head.
But I'm hungry. I want some victuals.
Boy, go sit at the table.
That's more like it. Here, Granny, I'll have a double help and everything.
There goes your typical pleasure-seeking male animal. You men is all alike. All you want to do is eat and get to your country club.
Country club?
Whilst us women stay home and slave. You is out shooting golfs, tennis, martini on the rocks, and having steam saunas.
Jethro and me spends our days mowing the lawn, raking leaves, trimming the hedges, chopping wood, painting, plumbing, and repairing.
There you are. You was out having fun whilst we is home slaving.
Come on, pleasure-seeking male animal. Let's get out of here for a spell.
Where are we going?
To our country club. Where else?
What do they got at the country club?
Tennis, golf, steam saunas.
Hot dog. I'm gonna have you a double helping of them steam saunas. I'm hungry.
Oh, no, not again.
Good morning, male supremacist.
Good morning, oppressor of women. Good morning, chauvinist pig.
Does this heat belong to one of you?
Yes, it's mine.
Well, all of you hop in it, get out of here, or I'll repossess it.
It's all paid for. It's mine, free and clear. And we have a permit to picket here.
And as soon as the rest of the girls arrive, we will picket this bank from one end to the other.
That is what you think. Joe, Charlie, come out here. Bring your baseball bats. Now, I'll give you one more chance at dispersal. All right, clear the sidewalk.
Okay, Susie. Gentlemen, would you care to try for broken arm?
Are you husky guards afraid of three girls?
No, just one of them. That's Susie.
Okay, I'm impressed. Now let's make peace. Come back to work for me, and you'll get a raise and a bonus.
Hooray!
Victory at last.
No, not you two, just Susie.
Just me?
Right. Forget these losers and work for me. You'll have a combination job as my secretary and bodyguard. You'll have a great deal. Just sign right here on the dotted line.
I thought we were gonna have breakfast at our country club.
We don't belong to no country club.
Well, then where are we gonna eat?
Right here.
Well, who's gonna cook?
Looks like you're gonna be one of us.
Okay. I'll have bacon and eggs, ham and grits, pancakes and sausage, lots of toast and jelly, and a side order of hush puppies.
You sure that's enough?
You better start me off with a big bowl of cereal covered with bananas and strawberries.
No steak and taters?
Okay, as long as you cook and throw that in, too. And rare on the steak.
Get through. Get up from there. We're gonna match pennies for this.
After breakfast, Uncle Jed, I'm too hungry to play games now.
You're gonna match pennies to see who does the cooking. The other one will wash the dishes.
Okay. I'll match you.
Heads.
Tails.
You do the cooking, I'll wash the dishes.
Okay.
Call me when you're ready.
I'm ready for you, Uncle Jed.
What all did you cook?
Everything that was in the icebox. Ham hocks, a couple dozen eggs, side of bacon, grits, and I even warmed up the leftover pot roast and taters.
Them victuals smells good.
They tasted good, too.
You ate them?
Yep.
All of them?
Yep.
And why did you call me in?
Well, now it's time for your half of the work. I done the cooking. You wash the dishes.
Look, Granny, Pa's home.
You and Jethro must have sneaked in the back way.
I reckon so. Ladies, can we talk for a minute?
What about?
Women's lib.
Is you for it or agin it?
I'm for it. Now, can we talk?
No use talking. The rights that we are seeking is, what is that again, Ellie?
Non-negotiable.
That means we gotta get 'em.
You got it.
You giving in, Pa?
Absolutely.
You surrenders?
Unconditional.
You admit that women's as good as men?
Better.
Does that mean that you, what is that again, Ellie?
Capitulates.
Yeah. Does you do that?
Whatever that means, I does it.
Well, Ellie, I reckon that means we has won.
Good. My hands is blistered from toting his sign.
Mine, too.
Well, what do you say we celebrate by fetching up one of them great big hickory smoked hams out of the root cellar and frying us up a mess of it?
That sounds good.
Yeah, this picketing gives me an appetite. To tell you the truth, Jed, it was mostly them girls down at the bank that got us picketed. What's that?
That's Uncle Jed's in my laundry. You forgot to pick it up this morning, Granny.
Jethro.
Now hop to it, and no starch in my collar this time. It's sawing my neck.
Jethro.
Oh, and here's some socks that needs darning.
Jethro.
And these pants needs patching. And Ellie, our beds ain't made. Now, will you stop playing with that ape and get at it? You and Granny done wasted half the day.
Ellie, back to the women's lib.
Ellie, the boy didn't mean. He was just...
Hey, Uncle Jed, what's with them two?
They got mad and left.
You must have done something to upset them.
More than likely.
You ought to leave them to me. I know how to handle women.
Yeah, you're a whiz, boy.
Hey, who's gonna wash them clothes?
I kind of think it's going to be us.
Okay. No starch in my collars, old-timer.
Hold it.
But I'm kind of busy, Uncle Jed.
Not as busy as you're going to be.
Boy, this is ridiculous. A Hollywood playboy washing clothes. If word was to get out to the Hollywood gossip columnists and fan magazines, I'd be the laughing stock of Schwab's drugstore.
What's that?
Well, that's kind of a meeting place for Hollywood celebrities. I hangs out there a lot, except when they runs me off.
Well, I don't think they'll be running you off today. By the time you get through washing and ironing, it's going to be tomorrow.
Jim, have you ever thought what I might do if I was forced to continue this humiliating kind of work?
Oh, what might you do?
I might just run away from home.
That's the first ray of sunshine on a dark day.
Well, how are you superior male dictators doing?
We're doing the best we can.
Pa, you don't have to wash clothes like this. There's a washer right yonder.
We didn't know how to run it.
What do you think you're doing?
Darn it, socks.
Granny, look at this.
You ain't darning socks. You're ruining them.
I'm doing the best I can.
You'll have to walk awful pigeon-toed to wear these.
I reckon it will take a while for me to get the knack of it.
Granny, let's help Pa.
Only if he's ready to change his ways.
I'm ready.
Do you admit that men ain't superior?
I'll put it in writing.
Are you through grinding women under your heels?
Oh, yeah, no more of that.
Are you for women's lib?
Heart and soul.
All right, Ellie. You take over the darning. I'll finish the washing.
Yes'm, Granny.
Well, it's about time you lazy women was back to work.
Jethro.
Here, Granny. It's a good thing you's back carrying your own weight. I just about had it with you two.
Jethro.
Come on, Ellie. These men ain't learned their lesson.
Jethro.
Sure got dark all of a sudden, Uncle Jed.
Hey, where's Granny and Ellie?
They got mad and left again.
Well, what did you do to upset them this time?
Welcome to the picket line, girls. Soon be joined by twice our number.
Girls, I would like to introduce my combination secretary and bodyguard, Bonsai Sakito. Now, I'm asking you once more to hop into that pile of junk and leave.
We refuse.
And my car is not a pile of junk.
Bonsai, show the young lady that she is wrong.
He demolished it.
Now, would you girls like to try for demolished heads?
Get him, Susie.
Onna no kaiho undo wa yaburemashita.
What did you say?
I said, woman's lib is for the birds. Let's get out of here.
No sign of the ambulance yet?
Ambulance? Who needs an ambulance?
Oh, Jethro hurt himself.
Well, I'm a doctor. Why didn't you call me?
Well, you got more important things, Granny. This women's lib movement.
Nonsense. My own kith and kin is hurt. How'd it happen?
Well, he was scrubbing the floor, and he slipped in some suds and bumped his head. Something awful. There he lays, Doctor.
Oh, that poor boy. Here, Ellie, quick. Mop up the rest of those suds so nobody else will slip and fall. I'll take care of this poor unconscious.
The trick worked, Uncle Jed. Look at old Ellie Mae mop that floor.
Jethro.
And Granny, there's lots of clothes that needs ironing. And then commence fixing victuals, because I'm hungry.
Jethro.
Come on, Ellie.
Jethro.
It got dark again.
Hey, where's Granny and Ellie?
They got mad and left.
Oh, don't tell me.
Yeah, I upset him again.
You know something? I ain't too happy with you.
Really? Well, I'm tickled pink with you.
How's it going, boy? It's going terrible. This is wrecking my whole image. If someone was to take a picture of me like this, I'd never get into Harvard.
Harvard?
Yeah, you gotta have class to get in there.
Seems I've heard about that place.
Of course you have. Next to Schwab's, it's the classiest drugstore on Hollywood Boulevard.
Well, we see to it that nobody takes a picture.
Uncle Jed, is Ellie and Granny still picking?
I'm afraid so.
Well, I'm getting hungry. You aim to cook me something?
Well, I hadn't planned on it.
Well, gee whiz, I cooked the last meal.
You ate it, too.
Well, there you are. I'm doing everything. The eating, the cooking,
The scorching?
Huh?
You just burn a hole in your pants.
You was wrong, Uncle Jed.
Good.
They's your pants.
Tell me, boy, have you given any more thought to running away?
If one more thing goes wrong around here, I might.
Name it. Well, Mr. Drysdale, this is Jed Clampett. Tell me, is them girls at your bank still picketing for women's lib?
No, sir. I put a stop to that foolishness. They are? Granny and Ellie? Well, leave them to me, Mr. Clampett. I have learned how to handle militant women. Yes, I'll take over from here. Bye. Banzai, we've got another rebellion to put down.
Oh, howdy, Mr. Drysdale. I mean, male supremacist.
Oppressor of women.
Granny, Ellie, I am here in response to a call for help from Mr. Clampett.
Oh, you gonna do the cooking and washing for Pa and Jethro? It sure will be good news for them.
The only thing I'm here to do is to put a stop to this women's lib foolishness.
It ain't foolishness.
I say it is. And Banzai will demonstrate the unquestionable superiority of men. Banzai?
Who's that goomer?
This is the #1 karate fighter in the entire world. Banzai, show this little lady how strong you are. No, not my car. Granny, what do you think of that?
I think he hadn't ought to done it. That was a good bench, and now it ain't worth shucks to sit on.
He did that to put you in your place. Now, unless you stop this picketing, he's going to have to teach you a further lesson.
Well, he better hadn't.
Do you admit that men are superior?
No!
Banzai, destroy the other bench.
Oh, no, you don't!
Are you sure Mr. Drysdale's here to do our work for us?
Yes, sir, Pa.
Hot dog. I sure hope he can cook.
Who is that?
That is the #2 karate fighter in the entire world.
What happened to him?
He just met #1.
Where you all going?
We is leaving home.
Any chance of you taking Jethro with you?
No.
We's moving into Miss Jane's apartment with her.
Don't do that. There's plenty of room here.
Not since you and Mr. Drysdale fetched in that big bully to beat us up.
Some bully you like to kill him.
Well, he had no business wrecking a good iron bench. You men is all alike. You gotta learn a lesson.
Bye, Pa.
Please, I'm begging.
No use talking. We's leaving.
What I'm begging you for is to take Jethro with you.
Johnny come with Miss Jane in her dune buggy.
Hey, where's they going?
He's leaving home, boy.
Oh, what dim-witted thing did you do this time?
I don't know.
Thank goodness you got my giant brain to fall back on.
I could use something soft right now.
I'm sorry about this uncomfortable mode of transportation, but Mr. Drysdale's bodyguard destroyed Helen's car.
What'd he do, run into it?
He struck it with his hand and broke it in two.
That must be the goomer that busted up my iron bench.
Banzai's here?
Oh, yes, ma'am, Miss Jane. He's resting in the parlor.
Well, we better get out of here before he destroys the dune buggy.
No, he won't be doing no more destroying for a spell.
Granny clobbered him.
Banzai?
Yeah.
Why, he's a judo champion, a karate champion. He must have 5 or 6 belts.
I give him about 4 more.
Uncle Jed, this here is one example of how my giant brain operates. I have done come up with an idea that does away with iron.
Is them my long johns?
That's right. I figured out if he uses lots of starch and lays them out in the sun to dry, you don't have to iron them.
How am I supposed to get into these?
Uncle Jed, you're just gonna have to do some thinking for yourself.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Wouldn't be fair to let you carry the whole load.
I also come up with an idea that does away with cooking.
How's that one work?
You do it.
I'm sorry, Banzai. I've got to get back to the bank. I'll talk to you later.
How's Mr. Banzai feeling?
Very humiliated.
Granny sure whooped the tar out of him.
Shh, please. He already feels that he's lost a lot of face.
Well, as I recollect, that ain't just a great big loss.
No, I don't mean that literally. He simply feels ashamed because he was defeated by a woman.
That ain't nothing to be ashamed of. When Granny's riled, I've seen her drop a full-grown bull.
Again!
Well, Bonsai is so disgraced, he doesn't want to show himself for a while. Can he stay here?
Of course he can. I'll go tell him.
Hey, Mr. Drysdale, can that bonsai feller cook?
No, Jethro, Japanese men do not cook.
Well, can he do the laundry?
No.
Well, can he scrub floors or make beds?
Jethro, Japanese men do not perform domestic chores. The women of their household do all the work. They wait on him hand and foot. In his own home, he is king.
Hey, how about me moving in his place?
I told Mr. Bonsai he's welcome to stay here till he finds his face.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Clampett. Well, I'll see you later.
Uncle Jed, that fella can't cook, can't do laundry, can't scrub floors or make beds or nothing. You're making work for yourself.
Matter of fact, Jethro, he asked could he fetch his women folk over to take care of all that.
What did you say?
I said, sure, go right ahead.
Well, how about that? You finally done something right. You know, if you hang out with me long enough, you'll be as smart as me.
Well, thanks, boy. I'm really looking forward to that. Oh, excuse me.
Be sure to see the Beverly Hillbillies next week when Granny and Ellie move into my apartment with disastrous results. Meanwhile, the women of Bonsai's household arrive.
Enter flowers of the Orient. This is Mr. Clampett.
Well, howdy, ladies.
And Mr. Clampett lives the life of an Oriental potentate.
Clampett Sand speaking.
Hello, Jed. This is Granny. Are you suffering?
Oh, yeah, I sure am.
Are you ready to knuckle under and give in to the women's lib? Have you learned your lesson?
Well, Granny, not yet. I think I ought to suffer a couple more days. Yeah, let's stay in touch. Don't call me, I'll call you. Bye.
Don't miss the Beverly Hillbillies next week.
Hey. Here I am, Ellie. Who's ailing? One of the neighbors?
No, ma'am. It's Fairchild.
You're Bear? You call me the doctor of varmint?
Fairchild ain't no varmint.
Well, he ain't people, and I'm a people doctor.
Well, take a look at him. He's breathing heavy, and he moans considerable, and his nose is warm. Please, doctor.
Well, I have swore an oath to end suffering wherever I finds it. All right.
Oh, thank you. Dr. Granny's gonna make you well, Fairchild.
Stick out your tongue.
Maybe you'd better reach into his mouth and get it.
Uh-huh. Now, let's hear how this chest sounds. Say 99. 99.
He can't talk.
Oh, I forgot. He's got the croup, Ellie, and a touch of the grizzly fever.
Can you cure him?
Oh, sure. I'll cook up a strong poultice for his chest. That'll draw out the inflammation. Now, you keep him warm.
Who's the patient?
Ellie's Bear. I'm gonna poultice him.
Good.
Jed, is your shaving mug handy?
Reasonably, why?
Well, I'd appreciate it if you honed up your razor and shaved his chest.
I believe I'll pass on that. Hello, Miss Jane. Jed Clampett speaking. Mr. Drysdale wanted me to call him about these papers he sent over.
Oh, yes, Mr. Clampett. He'll be back in a few minutes. I'll have him return your call. You're welcome. Yes?
Oh, Miss Hathaway, there's an admiral here to see you.
Admiral?
Well, he's handsome enough to be an admiral, divinely tall, broad shoulders, one of those rugged men of the sea.
Ask him to come in.
If you're busy, I could entertain him.
I'm not busy.
Oh, too bad. Come in, sir. right, girls, back to the secretarial pool.
You may go too, Darlene. Yes, Lieutenant.
Are you Jane Hathaway?
That is correct. Miss Jane Hathaway.
I miss darling Mattingly.
You may go, Miss Mattingly.
My name is Templeton, and
Of course, Matthew Templeton. Well, you're the man I found in the forest.
What forest is that?
You may go, Darlene.
that was my brother you found in the forest, Miss Hathaway. My name is Mark Templeton.
Well, the resemblance is striking.
Well, we're often mistaken for one another. I'm looking for the Clampetts, and my brother said that you could put me in touch with them.
Indeed, I can. I'll give you their address and telephone number. As a matter of fact, if you need transportation, I'll be happy to drive you over.
I have a car, but I would appreciate an introduction.
Oh, the pleasure is mine. As soon as Mr. Drysdale returns, we'll drive over.
All right, what's going on here?
Oh, Mr. Drysdale, Miss Hathaway is entertaining a very handsome Navy man in your office.
Oh, she is she? Well, back to your desks. And no coffee breaks today. Miss Hathaway, this is a bank, not the USO. Bring it up.
Chief, may I present Lieutenant Mark Templeton of the United States Navy?
Oh, are you here to open an account?
No, sir.
Make a loan?
No, sir.
Shove off, sailor.
Chief!
Anchors away, both of you. I'm a busy man.
But, Chief...
Out! Out!
Well, Lieutenant, I am terribly sorry. Mr. Drysdale's been in a foul mood ever since interest rates went down.
I understand.
Oh, Miss Hathaway! I thought I should give you my new telephone number. It's Crestview 10799.
That is your old number.
Crestview 10799?
Yes?
Oh, so it is. Crestview 107...
Miss Mattingly, I am taking the lieutenant up to meet Ellie Mae Clampett. If, for some reason, she does not appeal to him...
Yes?
Forget it.
How's the bear poultice coming, Doctor?
Got it all cooked, Ellie. Now we'll just let it cool a mite.
Sure smells strong. What's in it?
Well, your base is skunk oil and turpentine. Then you thicken that with sulfur, dog bane, stinkweed, rock salt, hog bristles, and minced beetles. And then right at the last, I stir in a double handful of diced cockleburrs and night crawlers. Now, while it's cooling, we'll take his temperature and we'll check his pulse.
It's gone!
Great gut, got it!
Jethro! Did you eat what was in that pot?
Yeah. And from the way it tasted, you must have cooked it.
I cooked that.
You're slipping, Granny. That's all I could do to choke it down. Sure sets heavy.
You wasn't supposed to eat it, boob. That was for Ellie's bear.
Yeah, he's sick.
Well, if you think he's sick now, wait till he eats a pot of that stuff.
Greetings, Mr. Clampett.
Howdy, Miss Jane.
I'll bet this gentleman looks familiar to you.
He does for a fact. You're that preacher from back in the hills, Matthew Templeton.
Well, actually, I'm his brother, Mark.
Aren't they look-alikes?
Like 2 peas in a pod. Pleased to meet you.
Pleasure's mine.
There's one very important difference, however. This Mr. Templeton is single.
I understand there was a little mix-up with my brother.
There was for a fact. Granny had him and my daughter Ellie halfway down the aisle before she found out he was married.
Matthew was awfully upset about that.
Not as upset as Granny.
Well, come on inside and meet the family.
Beautiful home you have here, Mr. Clampett.
Yeah, thank you. It's a lot more than we need.
Jed, I'm out of rock salt. And, it's the married preacher that nearly broke Ellie's heart. Keep your gun on him, Jed.
They is just look-alikes, Granny. That's the preacher's brother.
Granny, this is Lieutenant Mark Templeton. And he's not married.
I'm pleased to meet you, Granny.
You ain't got a wife?
No, ma'am.
You're absolutely 100% single?
Yes, ma'am.
Engaged?
No, ma'am.
I'm glad to make your acquaintance. Take him into the parlor, Miss Jane. Keep your gun on him, Jed.
What for?
We ain't letting this one get away. Ellie, darling, quick, get into your prettiest dresses. What in the world are you doing?
Cooking up a new poultice for my bear.
But, Ellie, I'm not a rock knoll. And that's what sops up the skunk oil. Let's get this outside before it smells up the whole house. Company's here to see you.
Who is it?
Remember that handsome preacher back in the hills?
Sure do.
Well, this is his brother. And he's bigger and handsomer and singler.
And he's here to see me?
He ain't here to see me. Now get upstairs and do what I...
Look, Granny. My bear's up and gone. He must be well.
Good. Now get upstairs and scrub yourself with live soap. It's the only thing that'll cut that skunk oil.
Yes, Granny.
I declare you are gamier than a goat in August.
Ellie is a perfectly lovely girl, Lieutenant. You'll... Oh, here she comes now.
Oh, get going, Ellie.
That was Ellie?
No, Nellie. She's our hired girl. Poor thing, she was emptying the garbage and fell in it.
Oh.
Ellie's up in her boudoir, doing some fancy sewing and jotting down some of her famous recipes and having her picture took for the cover of a beauty magazine. I'll go tell her you're here.
You'll like Ellie, Lieutenant. She's really something.
So's Granny.
Yeah.
Where's Miss Hathaway?
She went up to the Clampetts with Lieutenant Templeton.
He's a friend of the Clampetts?
Well, he's gone up there to meet Ellie Mae. Lucky girl.
And I threw him out of my office. Oh, this is terrible.
I'm coming. Well, come in, Mr. Drysdale.
Thank you, Mr. Clampett. Well, what do you think of my boy, Lieutenant Templeton?
Your boy?
Well, did Miss Hathaway tell you that I'm the one who sent him over to meet Ellie Mae?
Well, no, sir, she didn't.
Well, now, I handpicked that lad from the entire United States Navy.
You sure picked a dandy.
Well, I told you I'd be the one to find the right man for Ellie.
You know him well, do you?
He's like my own son.
Is that a fact?
Why, yes. Mark and I...
Chief! What are you doing here?
Well, you may ask. Shame on you. You didn't tell Mr. Clampett everything.
About what?
Never mind, I won't embarrass you. Let's go.
Well, it's the terrible-tempered Mr. Drysdale.
You never forget, do you? I had to speak rather sharply to him in the office. He's always been a sensitive lad. Well, see you later, Mark, my boy.
Mark, my boy?
Mr. Drysdale said you're like a son to him.
Oh, brother.
Oh, you're right. Brother is better. I'm a little young to be a father image. Let's go.
Well, here comes Ellie Mae. Now you two can get acquainted, Mark.
Wow. Ah, Ellie Mae. Allow me to present Lieutenant Mark Templeton of the United States Navy.
Howdy, Mark. Pleased to meet you.
The pleasure is mine, Ellie Mae.
Now that I've brought you together, may the ship of happiness carry you across the sea of tranquility into the harbor of bliss. Bon voyage, my children.
Chief, you are the biggest phony, the lowest fink, the most unprincipled scoundrel who ever lived.
Thanks. I needed that. Let's go.
Now then, you young'uns sit right here in the parlor and get acquainted.
Well, thank you, Mr. Clampett.
Ellie Mae, if you want to serve refreshments, there is cider and icebox.
Thank you, Pa.
This cold glass of cider sounds pretty good to me right now. How about you, Granny? Granny? Granny,
What do you want, Jed?
how about a cold glass of cider?
Yeah, bring me a tall one. Now, Mrs. Templeton, there's a few questions I would like to ask you.
Granny,
What do you want, Jed?
I need you in the kitchen.
You young'uns will have to excuse me. He needs me. He's a widower, you know. It's sad when a man ain't got a wife to look after him. Pitiful. I hope that never happens.
Granny,
I'm coming, Jed.
Just amazing how much you look like your brother.
Well, it's just amazing how much you look like the hired girl.
Well, we ain't got no hired girl.
I kind of figured there couldn't be two as pretty as you.
What do you want, Jed?
I want you to leave them young'uns alone.
Wouldn't you like to know something about the man that is proposing to your daughter?
Granny, they ain't even shook hands yet.
How do you know for sure? That fella's a sailor. These fast workers.
Granny, will you just leave them alone for a spell?
Jed, it's a father's duty to know something about the man that's courting his daughter.
Well, I don't know. For starters, he's nice looking, he's single, he's an officer, and Mr. Drysdale handpicked him out of the whole United States Navy.
All right, then answer me this. If he's that kind of a fella, how come he ain't already married?
Well, maybe he just never found the right girl yet.
He's a sailor. They got girls in every port.
Granny, they just met. Now, will you drink your coffee and give them a chance to get acquainted?
Ain't that awful dangerous, spending so much time underwater?
Well, we go through a very thorough training course, the Frogman program, before we ever start working with the porpoises and whales.
How do you work with them?
Right now, we're conducting experiments and communicating with them. We think we might be able to interpret their language.
You mean they talk?
In a sense, yes. They emit a series of sounds which we're trying to decode and understand.
Bet you I could understand them.
What makes you think so?
Well, Pa says if you can understand Jethro, you can understand anything.
I gotta do some chores outside.
Yeah, you run along, Jed.
Before I go, I want you to promise me that you'll stay in this kitchen and leave them young'uns alone.
I promise.
Now uncross your fingers and say that.
What makes you so suspicious?
Knowing you.
All right there, you satisfied?
I want you to swear me an oath.
Heckin' gosh darn. How's that?
You know what I mean. You take an oath that you'll stay in this kitchen at least a half hour.
I do so swear. How's that?
Good. See you later.
You're a hard man, Jed, and none too bright neither. It's only dark sitting in the parlor with a sailor that he don't know beans about. But do you think he's worried? No, not him.
Granny, can we have that cider now?
Oh, sure, honey. How are you two getting along?
Oh, fine and dandy.
You like him?
Sure do. You know what? He spends a lot of time in the ocean.
I suppose he does. On the boat.
No, ma'am, underwater, swimming around.
Why would he want to do that?
Well, he's learning to talk to critters that live in the ocean.
He talks to fish?
Well, sort of. Whales and porpoises and such. Why, he can stay underwater for better than an hour.
Land sakes. That ain't human.
Can I be of any help?
Oh, no. Ellie, you take the cider into the parlor. I want to have a word with Mark here.
Yes, Granny.
My granddaughter tells me that you spend lots of time swimming around in the ocean.
Yes, ma'am, that's right.
She tells me that you talk to the critters who live in the ocean.
Well, I tried to.
She tells me that you can stay under the water for better than an hour.
That's right, I can.
Ain't that hard to do?
Not for me. I'm a frogman.
You're a what?
I'm a naval frogman. Well, excuse me.
Oh, no.
Hey, Granny, that second batch of stew is better than the first. Not as salty. Hey, Granny, what's the matter?
Oh, Jethro, I just had a terrible shock.
What is it?
Your cousin Ellie has fallen for a freak.
A freak?
He's half man and half frog. Oh, from the waist up, he's beautiful. But from the navel down, he's pure frog.
You'll see, Elliot. Being a frogman isn't as dangerous as it sounds. We're carefully trained, and the Navy provides us with the very finest gear. This wetsuit keeps me warm, even at depths where the ocean temperatures might be 30 or 40 degrees. These flippers give me great underwater propulsion. Say, I got an idea. You have a swimming pool?
Sure do, a great big one.
Suppose I demonstrate it for you.
Oh, fine and dandy. Could I put on my swimming suit and join you?
Great. Where's the pool?
Oh, around back. And there's a dressing room where you can change.
See you there.
Where are you going, Ellie?
Oh, me and Mark's going swimming.
Oh, well, that... No, darling. No, you mustn't.
Why not?
Well, you see... Yeah, why not? Better to find out now than on your wedding night.
Find out what?
Never mind. Just brace yourself. And remember, nobody's perfect. Saints in heaven. It's worse than I thought. The frog half has taken over. There he goes. Must have spotted a fly. Ellie, honey, don't go up there.
Well, why not? I hear Mark splashing around in the pool.
Yeah, well, hearing him is one thing. Seeing him is something else.
What do you mean?
Ellie, remember when we had such high hopes for his brother Matthew, and he turned out to be married?
Yes'm, but Mark is single.
And I found out why. Get a grip on yourself. He's a frog man.
Oh, I know that. He told me.
Don't it worry you?
Well, yes'm, it does. But he says it's nothing to worry about.
Yeah. Well, that's easy for him to say.
Mark says there's lots of frogmen in the Navy, and they do real important jobs. Well, like when the astronauts drops in the ocean, it's the frogmen that rescues them.
Well, I ain't saying they ain't useful, but you don't want to marry one.
Why not?
Why not? Have you ever seen a frogman?
No, ma'am.
Well, all right, go ahead. One look will cure you. Poor darling, she's in for an awful shock. Of course, it could be worse. Thank goodness the top half ain't frog.
Jethro, you seen anything of Granny?
Not lately.
I sure wish she'd show up and cook some victuals for our company.
Don't be too anxious. Did you taste that stew she made?
No.
It was awful. Hey, Granny, I'm hungry.
Get out of here, boy. I got a serious family problem to take up with your Uncle Jim.
Ain't you gonna cook no victuals?
No, I ain't. Now, scat.
Granny, I think it'd be kind of nice if you was to fix something for Ellie's date.
I don't cook bugs.
Bug?
I ain't too sure of that after eating your stew.
Get out of here! Well, Jed Clampett, so you didn't want me to ask that Templeton boy any serious questions about himself.
That's right.
I suppose it's all right with you if he just goes ahead and marries Ellie May.
After a proper courtship, could be.
Some courtship. If she kisses him, she'll get warts.
Warts?
I reckon that they'll be married in the cement pond, and you will just float your daughter up to him on a lily pad.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about Mark Templeton. You don't know one thing about him.
Granny, I told you Mr. Drysdale handpicked him.
Where'd he find him? In a pet shop?
That don't make sense.
It'll make sense when your grandchildren turn out to be tadpoles.
You been at your White Lightning?
No, but it's a good idea. Let's have it.
Not till you explain all that crazy talk.
One picture is worth 1,000 words. Go down to the cement pond and take a look for yourself.
Take a look at what?
At what Mr. Drysdale wants your daughter to marry. And hang on to that jug. You're gonna need it.
Boy, you ought to see that Mark Templeton swim. He can really shoot through the water.
So could you if you had his hind legs.
Hind legs? Well, anyway, Pa, he wants to know, can he take me out to Vittles tonight?
Why, sure he can.
Good.
Don't let him order for you, honey. You'll wind up with a plate of grasshoppers.
Granny, I think you better go lay down for a spell.
I'll drink to that. Let's have it.
Mr. Clampett, would you and Granny like to join Ellie and me for dinner?
Oh, no thanks, Mark. You young'uns won't want us tagging along.
I thought we'd hop down to the beach.
That figures.
By the way, do you have some shoe polish I could borrow?
You betcha.
I'll fetch it, Jed. It beats me how you can squeeze into them shoes. Your feet must be killing you.
What you mean by that?
Don't pay no attention to her. The way she's acting today, this must have been a bad batch.
A little bit of stew left. Anybody still hungry?
I am.
Jethro, let the company speak first.
They ain't company. They's prisoners. Ellie and me caught them grunion, didn't we, Ellie?
We sure did. Caught him on the beach with our bare hands, according to the rules of grunion hunting.
They even admitted being from Grun.
Food like this, I'd say was from Oz.
Well, I still say they is company.
And I say they's prisoners.
Now, hold it. You is both right. They is company and they is prisoners, too. Well, Grunions, did you have enough to eat?
Plenty.
Just great.
How was the food?
Heavy.
Well, you can't fill an eater like Jethro here with angel food cake.
Can I have the rest of the stew now?
Give it to him, Granny.
Shall I give him the bone, too?
If you can stand the noise.
I'll take the rest of these dishes down to the ocean and rinse them off, Granny.
Thank you, Ellie.
Well, nice to have had you Grunions here. You're all free to go back to the Isle of Grun now.
Oh, not this one, Uncle Jed. She's a keeper.
There gonna be none of that. As you probably know, some folks takes their Grunions home and make servants out of them, but that ain't our way.
Why don't we give it a try?
Jethro, here, boy. Take us down to the ocean. Don't come back till it's finished.
Yes, sir.
Jethro!
Yes, sir.
It'll be gone before he gets to the water's edge.
Miss Thompson,
Yes, sir.
come here. Miss Thompson, this is a grunion.
Yes, sir.
As anyone can see, it is a fish.
Yes, sir.
Then why did you tell the Clampetts that the grunion were fierce, warlike people from the island of Grun?
I didn't, sir. You told them that.
Miss Thompson, a part of your job here is to take the blame for the stupid things I do.
Sorry, sir.
Miss Hathaway used to take the blame beautifully.
Yes, sir.
So why did you let her resign?
I didn't, sir. You did.
There you go again. You're not being any help to me.
Mr. Drysdale, face up to it. There is just one person who might possibly get you out of this scrape with the Clampetts.
Miss Hathaway.
Right, sir. She's been saving your neck for years.
Well, go to the beach, find her. Plead with her to come back to work. Offer her a raise, a bonus.
Oh, here, give her the keys to her car. Tell her you're sorry you repossessed it and bought it for yourself for $25.
I didn't do that. You did.
You can't seem to learn, can you?
Go find Miss Hathaway.
Yes, sir.
And hurry, before the Clampetts find out that grunion are fish.
Well, you Grunions going back to your island?
I like it here.
Me too.
Let him stay, Jed.
Well, of course, it ain't for me to say. But if they promise to stay out of mischief.
If you stay, do you promise to behave?
On my honor as a grunion.
Same here.
Well, now, California might take some getting used to. It's likely a heap different than living on the Isle of Grun.
How do you get along there?
Well, fair.
They got that here, too. You feel right at home.
Thanks for everything.
That goes double for me.
Well, now, wait. You better hang on to these blankets. You was half froze when the young ones fetched you here.
Oh, I've got some clothes down the beach.
Me too.
Well, bye now.
See you around.
Don't forget your promise.
Yeah, and stay out of mischief.
We will.
You know, Granny, them Grunions ain't a bad sort.
Wonder why Mr. Drysdale told us that they were fierce and warlike.
Beats me.
Any more Vettles?
Not a bite.
Let's go home.
Hey, you know what I found out? The main bunch of grunions don't come in till after dark.
Well, I don't think they're worth much waiting for. Do you, Jed?
Well, from what I've seen, I can't believe California's in too much danger. But I'll take one more look out there.
See anything? thing, Pa?
Yeah, there's a grunion out there, trying to paddle ashore in one of them pitiful little boats. The darn fools keep trying to stand up on them things.
Let's go home, Pa, so I can feed my critters.
Yeah, might as well. If them grunion can't get to shore in the daytime, they's in real trouble after dark.
Well, I think we ought to let Miss Jane know that we is leaving.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll be back in a minute.
All right, Jethro, start loading up the truck. Jethro, where is that boy?
Yonder he is, Granny, licking a pot.
Get out of there! Lead him around, Ellie, till his brain stops shaking.
Ahoy, Mr. Clampett!
Oh, howdy, Miss Jane. I was just coming over to tell you we decided to go home.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wanted to invite you for dinner. I have a whole bunch of frozen grunion.
Well, we just had a couple of cold ones ourselves.
Only 2?
Yeah, Jethro caught one and Ellie caught one.
Hardly worth cooking.
Well, Granny had an old kettle full of stew anyway.
Well, I'm sorry you won't be here when the main wave of grunion hit the beach. I'm sure you'd catch a lot of them.
Well, I'll tell you, Miss Jane, they ain't scrappy enough to make it interesting.
They're not exactly fighters, are they?
Pitiful, scrawny-looking little things, kind of like,
Smell?
I didn't get that close.
Yoo-hoo, Miss Hathaway.
That looks like Miss Thompson from the bank. She's the girl who took my place.
Oh, I'm so glad I found you.
Oh, Miss Thompson, you remember Mr. Clampett?
Yes, indeed.
I'd see you, ma'am.
Oh, Miss Hathaway, you must come back to work for Mr. Drysdale.
No, thank you, Helen.
Oh, please, he's just beside himself.
Sorry.
Well, I reckon I'll be moseying.
Mr. Clampett, wait. Perhaps you could persuade her to return.
I don't like to be butting in.
Helen, I will think it over. Right now, I must get back to my place. I have a kitchen full of grunion thawing. Bye, Miss Clampett.
Bye.
You coming, Helen?
In a jiff.
Ta.
Mr. Clampett, I do hope you'll talk to her. Mr. Drysdale needs her desperately.
Yeah, he has been acting kind of peculiar lately. You know, he told us that grunions was fierce, warlike fighters from the island of Grunt.
Yes, I know.
Well, they ain't fighters at all. These puny little folks about so high.
Folks?
Yeah, Jethro fetched him in a girl grunya. I'll bet she wouldn't weigh out 100 pounds. He was going to take her home for a servant, but I wouldn't let him.
You still think grunion are people?
Sure, of course. There's kind of a poor excuse for people, but they're still people.
Hey, Uncle Jed, you done found yourself a cute little old grunion.
She ain't my grunion.
Then she's my grunion.
Boy, put her down.
No, sir, Uncle Jed. You made me let the other one go, but I'm gonna keep this one. Hee-haw!
Turn her loose. Put that girl down. Someday I gotta have a long talk with that boy.
I'll go feed my critters, Pa, then I'll help unload.
Fine, darling.
It wasn't worth toting our battle flag or our guns to the beach, was it, Jed?
I believe Ellie Mae could fight off a grunion invasion with a slingshot.
I figured we'd get into some scraps.
Oh, is there any left? I'm hungry.
Go unload the truck.
Go unload the truck. If you hadn't made me turn loose that grunion I captured, I'd have had her unload the truck.
You don't hold without the slaves, boy.
That's right. We fought a war to make them Yankees give up that foolishness.
Randy, you sure do get things twisted.
Do as I say, or you're going to get things twisted, starting with your neck.
I'm the only grunion hunter in California that don't get to keep what I catch.
Well, that was real bright.
Gotta be honest with you, Uncle Jed, it wasn't. In fact, it was kind of dumb. Oh, yes, sir. You see, that's where education really pays off. I can tell the difference betwixt what's smart and what's dumb.
How about fixing the tire?
But now you're thinking like an educated man, and I'll help you.
Oh, Jethro, you were awful good to me.
Well, I keep trying to close a generation gap betwixt us, but it ain't easy. You old folks keep clinging to the wrong value systems.
Fix a tire, boy.
It's hard for you to get away from that corporate image, ain't it? He's establishment through and through.
Get busy, boy.
I ain't supposed to trust nobody over 30, but this here is turning into meaningful dialogue. We might even get into a real rap session.
You don't hop to it, you're gonna get the first rap.
The think that my taxes goes to keeping people like you in power. Get it?
That boy's got a lot of grunion in him, Jed.
From the neck up, he's got it made.
Except that Jethro will fight for the right cause.
Like a pork chop.
Can't understand why Mr. Drysdale was called back into the Navy to fight those poor little grunion goomers.
We'll have to ask him about that.
And the Clampetts believed you?
Why, certainly. I was wearing this combat uniform. I backed up that story with your newspaper.
Grunion coming tonight, huge invasion predicted. Oh, Chief, how rotten!
What do you mean, rotten? I was brilliant.
Well, I can see you haven't changed. Goodbye.
Wait, come back. Don't leave.
I refuse to return to the same dishonesty and deceit that forced me to leave.
Oh, please, Miss Hathaway. Don't leave me. I'll change, I swear it. Give me another chance. I need you.
Chief, if I could only believe you'd really change.
I will, I promise.
Do you promise to live a life of truth and honesty?
I do.
Do you promise to never again use trickery or deceit?
I do.
Do you promise to relinquish the quest for the almighty dollar and to seek instead the virtues of kindness, generosity, and charity?
I do so promise.
You knelt before me, Drysdale the despicable. Arise and henceforth be known as Melbourne the Good.
Thank you, milady.
Now, your first task is to go to the Clampetts, confess everything, purge yourself of all lies, and throw yourself upon their mercy.
Will you come with me, noble lady? It will give me strength and courage.
Of course, noble knight.
Thank you. You have saved me.
Oh, how marvelous. You're together again.
Miss Thompson, you see before you a new man, cleansed of all greed and avarice, dedicated to truth and honor.
Yes, he's on his way now to confess his trickery to the Clampetts.
Good show. They'll be quite surprised to hear that Grunion aren't really people.
Surprised? You mean they still believe my story?
Oh, absolutely. They mistook a couple of surfers for Grunion.
Chief?
Then I could have gone off to fight the invaders.
Chief!
I'm still a hero.
Chief!
What?
I'll leave you!
Well, who needs you?
What happened to my noble knight?
He's back in the saddle. Get lost.
Mr. Tracy, in the blue blazes happened to you? Did you have an accident?
Well, if you call hitting Suicide Beach on Grun an accident, I had one.
You've been to the island of Grun?
I went in with the first wave. It was awful.
You know, Mr. Drysdale, we run into a couple of them grunion down in Malibu. They wasn't no scrappers at all.
Of course not. When things got hot, the cowards and weaklings fled the island. You met the deserters, I met the fighters.
Mr. Drysdale, what happened?
Granny, it appears them grunion that we run into was a couple of culls. The Navy went into Grun and had them a real battle.
No fool.
Mr. Drysdale was one of the first to go in.
Oh, you poor man, they must have shot you up something awful.
Oh, it was nothing. I took a few sniper bullets going in, stopped a burst from a machine gun nest, caught an 88 in the chest, but I kept going.
It's a miracle.
It wasn't until I stepped on the landmine that I blacked out and came to in a Navy hospital.
You sure have been through.
Come in. Oh, darn it, the medic has found me.
Seaman Drysdale, you shouldn't be on your feet. Excuse me, folks, but this man has lost a lot of blood.
Oh, there's plenty more of that came from. How soon can I go back into combat?
Combat? Why, they're waiting for you in surgery. He's carrying at least 10 pounds of shrapnel in this brave body.
All right, I'll go under one condition.
What's that?
No anesthetic.
But you could be on the operating table for 10 hours.
I don't care. I must keep awake, alert, and ready to fulfill my obligation to Mr. Clampett.
Me? What are you talking about?
You have entrusted your fortune to my care. And while I'm unconscious, someone may talk you into making a withdrawal from my bank.
He wouldn't do that to you. You're a hero.
Hero second, a banker first.
Mr. Drysdale, I won't draw out no money.
Do I have your word?
Yes, sir. Not a penny.
Very well, medic. I'm ready. Tell the surgeons to save everything they take out of my body. And after the operation,
I want them to strap me into the cockpit of a plane, and I'm going to drop that shrapnel on the capital of Grum. They haven't seen the last of Spunky Drysdale.
Take good care of him, Doctor.
Oh, I will. He's the greatest man I've ever seen. And if his bank is as strong as he is, that's where I'm going to deposit my money.
Your agent was right. You're a very convincing actor.
Thank you.
Well, see you later.
Hey, wait a minute. Now, what about my money?
Oh, bring it by the bank tomorrow.
Bring it.
Well, didn't you just say you were going to deposit your money in my bank?
Well, you told me to say that.
Well, I believed you. You're very convincing. See you tomorrow.
You call me, Pa?
Yeah, Ellie. Didn't you see the main wave of grunions coming in tonight?
Yes, sir, and I just talked to Mark down in San Diego. He says they're already coming in there.
There ain't no time to lose.
Well, tires fixed and trucks unloaded. Now can we eat?
Oh, boy, we're going back to the beach.
Now?
That's right.
Well, what for?
To fight the grunion.
Wait on Wapdom.
Not the fighters.
They is coming in tonight.
All the way from Grun? On them little tiny boats in the dark?
That's right, and they is mean.
I'll tell you something else. They is dumb. Fact is, they must all be over 30.
Come on,
Let's
boys.
go.
Miss Hathaway, am I in time for the protest meeting?
Yes, Sue, but are you sure you want to join us? After all, you're new here.
Oh, yes, we believe in women's liberation in Sweden.
Oh, good.
Besides that, I've been here long enough to know that Mr. Drysdale is a drummer.
Well, what does that mean?
Beast.
You're one of us. Come on.
Really, we've got to go down to the beach.
Girls, quiet, please. Quiet, please, girls. Girls, we are now all assembled. So let's hear from our leader, Jane Hathaway.
Girls, please. Thank you very much. Girls of the Commerce Bank, as you know, I did not seek this position of leadership, but as one who has suffered longest and most grievously under the tyrannical rule of that dastardly dictator, Milburn Drysdale.
Now, we've got to get out of here.
You have asked me to be your leader, and I accept. I shall not waste time detailing his latest act of perfidy. You have all heard how he invented the Isle of Grun to achieve his own greedy purpose. Please. Therefore, I suggest that we use the name Grun as a symbol of our resistance to the unfair neglect to which we have all been subjected.
Right.
Under Milburn, the miserable. Now, girls, please. Now, Helen and I have made several of these. Pass among you and be picketing the bank when the beasts of Beverly Hills return. Picketing up and down in front of
Hey, what's going on here? Clear out of my office. Back to your desk.
All right, no. Stand firm, girls. Do not cringe before the despot.
So you're the troublemaker.
There will be no trouble if you agree to treat these girls fairly.
Yes, we demand women's liberation.
Okay, you're liberated. You can have your next meeting at the unemployment office.
Ah, don't panic, girls. Don't panic. He can't run this bank without you. Rally behind your banner.
Girls resist unfair neglect. What does that mean?
It means that these girls wanted to be treated like men.
Yes, we want the same pay as men.
We want the same treatment as men.
Okay, you'll get it. Charlie, there's a bunch of guys rioting up in my office. Send up the bank guards with mace, tear gas, and clubs.
Girls, don't worry. We'll hold our protest meeting on the beach at Malibu.
At the beach?
Yes, the grunion are running tonight. There'll be thousands of people to watch our demonstration. We'll even have a fireworks display.
A fireworks display?
Well, can we afford that?
Well, actually, it's being put on by the city fathers, but why give men the credit? Listen to this. I have been making up some marching chants. Listen. We are the girls from Grun. We want our place in the sun. We'll fight till we win. We'll never give in, and Drysdale's on the run.
We are the girls from Grun. We want our place in the sun. We'll never give in. We'll fight till we win. Drysdale's on the run.
they'd hurry back. It's spooky out here all alone at night. Halt! Who goes there? Friend or Grunion?
Friend.
Give the password.
Bug tussle.
Advance and be recognized.
It's me.
What you got there?
Granny, this here is what you call a grunion bucket. Appears we won't be needing our guns.
Not even for the mean Grunions, the night fighters?
Nope. First fella I run into says, what you doing with a gun? I says, I'm hunting grunion. He says, here's what you use for grunion. You hand me this bucket.
What do? Slap it over their head and capture them?
No. Inside the bucket is these little fish.
Fish?
Yeah. All up and down the beach, folks was picking up the fish and putting them in the buckets.
What for?
Near as I can figure, when the grunion comes in, you throw the fish at him.
That ain't gonna turn back no invasion.
Now, Granny, you get hit in the face with a bucket of fish, and you ain't exactly gonna feel welcome.
What a war. You throw fish at one another. Why don't we kick sand at the Grunions? That'll scare them off.
Granny, I'd agree with you if we hadn't seen how they shot up Mr. Drysdale.
Well, if they fight so fierce on their island, how come there's nothing over here?
Well, I reckon after they paddle them slippery boats all the way from Grun, they ain't got no fight left.
Oh, Granny! The Grunions is here.
The invasion has commenced, has it?
Yes, ma'am. Miss Jane's done caught herself a whole slew of girl Grunions.
All girls?
Yes, sir. And guess who they's mostly mad at?
Who?
Mr. Drysdale.
That makes sense. He went into Grun fighting.
Miss Jane was leading these prisoners along, and they was saying, we's the girls from Grun. We want our place in the sun. We'll never give in. We'll fight till we win, and Drysdale's on the run.
I reckon they don't know he's in the hospital.
You'll be proud to know Miss Jane has took up the fight.
Where's Jethro? I thought you two was together.
Well, I reckon I run so fast I left him behind. Put me down. Put me down.
Oh, no, you is mine. Look here, Uncle Jet. I captured me a girl from Grun.
You did not. She's one of Miss Jane's.
Is that true? Do you belong to Miss Hathaway's bunch?
Yes, ma'am.
Put her down, boy.
Miss Jane won't miss her. She's got a whole flock of them.
Put her down, boy.
Släpp ner med din drummel.
See? She's even talking to me in Grun.
Let her go, Jethro.
Now, don't you try to get away. I'm taking you home with me.
You ain't taking her no place.
Don't worry, man. We'll see he behaves. So you're from Grun, huh?
That's right.
When did you hit the beach?
About a half hour ago.
Where's all your men folks?
Oh, Grun doesn't have any men.
No men at all?
No, nothing but women.
So long.
Where are you going, boy?
I'm swimming to Grun. That's my kind of island.
Paul, want me to go out and fetch him back?
Oh, let him have a swim. It'll cool him off.
Hola. Oh, you're with the Clampetts. Hello again.
Hi, Miss Jane.
What's the news? How goes the battle?
It's nip and tuck. Mr. Drysdale says he'll never surrender to the girls of Grun.
Did you hear that, Jed? Old Spunky's back in the thick of it again.
But Miss Hathaway says he's weakening.
He was kind of weak to start with.
Girls, girls.
Over here, Miss Hathaway.
Greetings, friends. Ula, Helen, come quickly. The girls of Grun are on the verge of victory.
Oh, we are?
Yes, Mr. Drysdale's about to surrender. Come on.
Poor Mr. Drysdale, after putting up such a brave scrap.
It ain't over yet. If you ask me, it's going to take more than an island full of women to whip Spunky Drysdale and the United States Navy.
Oh, Granny, look!
I told you, Spunky and the boys in blue is making another run at him.
I wouldn't want to be on Grun now.
Me neither. He is really catching it tonight.
Great galloping bullfrogs. Where you going in that city dude get-up?
Well, Granny, I told you Mr. Drysdale's fixing to build a new bank, and he invited me to the festivities.
And you're wearing them clothes as many barn raisins you been to?
There's not going to be no barn raising, Granny.
Barn raising, bank raising, what's the difference? There's dirt to shovel, cement to mix, boards to be sawed and nailed up. You ruin them clothes.
Mr. Drysdale's the one that sent me these fancy duds. He wouldn't have done that if he expected me to work in them.
You mean you ain't gonna help your neighbor when he's got a building to raise?
Granny, I kind of think Mr. Drysdale's going to build this bank city style, hire strangers to do it.
When a man has able-bodied neighbors and friends and has to hire strangers to help him, I say the world has took a sorry turn.
Boy, ain't Pa something? He looks like a president or something, don't he, Granny?
Yeah, he does bear a resemblance to Jeff Davis.
Well, it's getting on time. I got to be getting down to Mr. Drysdale's office. Has Jethro finished washing the car yet?
Oh, he's having it washed, Pa.
Having it washed?
Yes, Jed, city style. Hiring strangers to do his work for him.
Well, Jethro says there's a new place in the neighborhood where they wash your car in just 3 minutes.
3 minutes?
Yes, sir, and he wanted to try it out. Why, he's back already.
Oh, you are sopping wet.
Yeah? That's the last time I go to that there automatic car wash.
What happened, Jethro?
They like to drown me, that's what happened. I drove into this here place, and this fella says, hop out, buddy. I'll take that truck. I says, you won't neither. So I followed some arrows around into this here tunnel. I no sooner got inside, this dad blamed cyclone busted loose.
Cyclone?
Worser. Why, water commenced to hit me from every direction. Steam shot up through the floor, and wind pretty near blew me off the seat.
Did you complain about it, Jethro?
Uncle Jed, as soon as I got out of that tunnel, I took off like a scolded dog.
Serves you right for not doing the job yourself.
Yes, sir, Granny.
Ah, shoot!
Bless you. Now get into some dry clothes, boy. I'm due over to Mr. Drysdale's office.
Milburn Drysdale, J.P. Morgan, Baron Rothschild, Milburn Drysdale. Yes, it has that big-moneyed sound. One day it will be Drysdale National Bank.
Well, where is J.D. Clampett? There is a financial wizard that I want to meet.
He'll be along any minute.
You're in for a surprise, John. To talk to him, you'd think he was a big old hillbilly who doesn't know the difference between a tax-free municipal bond and a Dow Jones stock average. All the time, that shrewd mind is going like an electronic computing machine.
He must be fabulous. I hear that less than 2 years ago he was broke.
He didn't have one penny. Today, I would estimate his net worth at around 40 million.
40 million? Well, I don't mind telling you, Milburn. That's the reason I'm in this deal. When I heard that J.D. Clampett was putting money into this new bank venture of yours, I said, Fleming, get on the gravy train.
Me too, Milburn. I'll ride Clampett's bandwagon any day.
Oh, Jethro, you want to come in and say hello to Miss Jane?
Oh, no, sir, Uncle Jed. She might take to chasing me again. I'll wait here.
Oh, did you bring along one of them tickets the policeman give us for parking here?
Oh, yes, sir. I got a $5 one.
How long can you park here for that?
Well, there's a gadget down the street that says parking is 10 cents an hour. So, let's see. At 10 cents goes into $5. That's 500 cents. 1 into 5 is 5. Naught into naught is naught. Bring down the 5 and the naught. And then bring down the extra naught. Subtract naught from naught, and naught from naught, and 5 from 5.
Doggy, you sure can cipher.
Thank you, Uncle Jed. This here is what you call long division. Now, I got a naught, naught, and naught down here, and a 10 up yonder. Now, all I got to do is put the 10 into the 3 knots and bring down the decimal point.
I ain't got long enough for long division. I don't want to keep Mr. Drysdale waiting.
Well, all I got to do is put the 10 into the 3 knots and figure out where the decimal goes.
Well, you figure it out and park here your $5 worth. If I ain't back by then, you ask the policeman to give you another ticket. Remember to say please and thank you. Folks appreciates good manners in the young.
Yes, sir.
Well, how about a toast to the new bank?
I'm for that.
To the Drysdale National... Oh, the new Commerce Bank.
Doggone it, Milburn, where is J.D. Clampett? I had hopes of getting some tips on the market from him before the stock exchange closes.
Me too. I want to ask him about grain futures.
Well, forget it, boys. J.D. Clampett knows nothing about the market. I do all his investing for him.
Don't you wish you were that smart?
I'll bet Clampett throws away better information than I pay my market analysts for.
Well, here is to J.D. Clampett, the lone eagle of finance.
Oh, greetings, Mr. Clampett.
Hi, Miss Jane.
Remember me, Mr. Clampett?
You bet I do. I'd remember even if you didn't have the name wrote right on your dress there. How are you, Beverly?
I'm Marion Billington.
Well, he's a mighty lucky man. Oh, say, Granny wanted to send along some of her crawdad dip. We went to every market in Beverly Hills, and would you believe it? They ain't a crawdad to be had. And they call this a modern city.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Excuse me, Milburn. We'd like to ask J.D. a question.
Now, John, I told you, you boys aren't going to get anything out of Mr. Clampett.
Oh, just one question.
What can I do for you, gentlemen?
Well, if somebody should buy a lot of wheat right now, say 1,000,000 bushels, what do you think they'd make?
Well, Mr. Pendleton, I reckon they make a lot of bread.
What did he mean by that? Fleming, you are square. Bread is hip talk for money. It is? Yes, now get on the horn to your broker and start buying wheat futures.
That's a mighty big piece of ground, Mr. Drysdale. Is your new bank going to cover that whole field?
Oh, no. Just a little portion of it. We'll be right in the middle of a huge development. Compared to some of the new buildings, our bank will be quite small.
Hors d'oeuvres?
No, thank you.
No, thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Clampett, what was that again you were trying to buy in the market? I thought I'd tell my boss so he could get some.
Well, that's crawdad.
Crawdad?
Just common crawdad.
You can't get it in the market out here?
That's right. They don't seem to know about it yet. You tell your boss to buy all that he can get his hands on. He'll make himself a heap of money.
Thank you, I will.
Oh, that's great. Good. Said New York?
Ned Lantini.
Give me that phone. Ned, this is John Lucas. Now listen very carefully. This is a real hot tip. I want you to buy crawdad. All you can get. That's right. Crawdad. So what? A few years ago, nobody ever heard of Xerox.
Hello, Ned. Fleming again. Buy me some of that crawdad, too. What? Common or preferred?
Just common crawdad. Crawdad common.
Common. But see what preferred is doing. All you can. Yeah. And let us know.
Right. And Drysdale said we couldn't get anything out of Clampett.
Open up. Unlock this door. Let me in there.
Yes, come in.
Oh, what's the idea? We've got to be getting over to the building site. Miss Hathaway,
Right here, Chief.
do we have the gold shovel for the groundbreaking ceremonies?
Indeed we have, plus hammer, saw, trowel, and a gold nail in honor of the golden anniversary of Beverly Hills.
Good. Now, if we hurry, we can get pictures taken in time for the evening papers.
Well, I want my picture taken with Mr. Clampett.
Me too.
Now, why would anybody want their picture taken with me at all?
Now, you're helping to build this bank, Mr. Clampett.
I am?
You and 10,000 other depositors.
With one little shovel?
Oh! Chief, will you be wanting me to go with you to the groundbreaking ceremonies?
No, you stay here and look after things. Like to ride with me, Mr. Clampett?
Well, no, thank you. I got Jethro waiting. I got a stop to make. Well, see you all at the bank raising.
All right, gentlemen, we're ready to go.
Bank raising. See how casually he takes building a new bank?
Well, maybe we'd be that casual if we had his money. And we will have, now that we've cornered the crawdad market.
Who's trading in crawdad?
I'll take all the crawdad I can get.
I want crawdad.
Who's trading? Crawdad.
Not into naught is not. Five into naught is not. Not into five is...
Head for home, Jethro.
Oh, our parking time ain't up yet.
Head for home anyway. I gotta get into working clothes, get some tools in this truck.
Well, what for?
I'm gonna help Mr. Drysdale build his bank.
Hey, is that going to be like barn raising back home?
Yep, Granny was right. Only it's going to be bigger than any barn raising. There's going to be 10,000 people pitch into this job.
10,000 people?
That's what Uncle Jeb told me.
I ain't never seen that many people in all my life.
Well, me neither.
Well, that's one of the reasons we come home first. It take you too long. Figured you wouldn't want to miss a sight like that.
But, Jed, ain't they just gonna get in each other's way?
There's a good chance of that, Granny, especially with the pitiful few tools they got. You load our tools on the truck, Jethro?
Oh, yes, sir, Uncle Jed.
Well, come on, let's get going.
Oh, wait a minute, Jed. Don't you think that we ought to tote along some victuals and a jug or two, like we always do to barn raising?
Sound like a good idea, Granny.
Jethro, snatch that pot of grits and jowls off on the stove and fetch it out to the truck.
Yes, ma'am, Gran.
Ellie Mae, you draw off a jug of my new rheumatism medicine. Yes, Granny.
Granny, Mr. Drysdale is going to be right obliged to you. He was serving some little glasses of cider down to the office, but the stuff had done turned.
Left it work too long, huh?
I tell you, it had gassed up something awful.
You gotta know the right time to tap a keg of cider.
He had that little Beverly caterer serving victuals.
That's the little girl that Jethro is so sweet on.
Yeah, but she's gonna marry somebody else.
No.
Oh, it's all for the best. She'd have starved Jethro to death in 2 days. That woman serves as skimpy as helpings I ever did see.
You don't say.
Sandwiches no bigger than your thumbnail. And you know what kind of eggs they eat?
What?
Fish eggs.
Fish eggs?
She called them caviar. Little bitty things. Mess up 'em on a cracker or look for all the world like a charge of soggy buckshot.
Did the folks eat them?
Granny, you wouldn't believe the way them city folks was putting away fish eggs and sour cider.
Mr. Drysdale ain't gonna have his bank put up in a hurry with them kind of victuals.
Put it in the back of the truck, Jethro.
Yes, sir.
Now, them's victuals that I call stick to your ribs. We'll save them for the hardest workers.
Good idea, Granny. Let her roll, Jethro. We're late for the barn raising.
Bank raising.
Yeah.
We're just about ready to go on the air, Mr. Drysdale.
Look, Mr. Clampett isn't here yet. We can't start without him.
Well, I'm afraid we'll have to. This is a direct broadcast, and my cue comes up in 30 seconds.
All right. I'll stretch my speech.
What do you suppose happened to Clampett?
He's probably on the phone to his stockbroker.
Yeah, trying to find out who cornered the crawdad market.
Honored guests, citizens of Beverly Hills, ladies and gentlemen of Radioland. 210 years ago, our forefathers made their way west from Pasadena into what is now Beverly Hills. And they built the first crude 40 and 50 room mansions, some of which still stand. These brave people were seeking freedom in the wide open spaces.
Ladies and gentlemen, for you listening on radio, let me explain that the commotion and laughter is being caused by a truck full of disreputable vagrants. And here they come again. They circle the stand. Somehow this motley collection of tramps made their way inside the city limits of Beverly Hills, careened past our speaker's platform, obviously intoxicated. Please! Don't worry, Mr. Drysdale. The police will have those drunks under arrest in no time.
This is Mr. Clampett, my guest of honor.
We return you now to our studios for a brief interlude of recorded music.
Jed, I thought you said about 10,000 people was gonna be here to help raise this bank.
That's what Miss Jane said they was counting on.
Well, all but about 100 of them changed their mind.
Well, don't worry about that, Granny. We raised some mighty fine barns, but less than that.
Who's this Goomer comer?
We're back on the air again, ladies and gentlemen, from the site of the Newcomers Bank.
Can't say as I know, Granny, but it looks like he lost a bulb out of his life.
It's now my honor and privilege to bring you an interview with one of the leading citizens of Beverly Hills, Mr. J.D. Clampett. Mr. Clampett, I wonder if we might have a word from you, sir.
Howdy.
Is that all you have to say?
It's all I can get into one word.
I didn't mean it literally. You see, Mr. Clampett, you're on the radio.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was just a pile of lumber.
What I mean is, Mr. Clampett, when you talk into this microphone, thousands of people are listening in their homes.
Why ain't all you good-for-nothing loafers out here to help raise this bank?
we return you once again to our studio for another brief interlude of recorded music.
Hey, Granny, you know something? I've been all over this place, and they ain't got no victuals.
You hungry, Jethro?
Well, heck no.
Well, then stop worrying. When you get hungry, there's a whole pot full of grits and jowls on the truck.
Not no more. That's why I ain't hungry.
Hey, Paul, they want you to come over and get your picture took.
I don't care if I get my picture took, Ellie. I'll just sit here till they commence work.
Well, they better come in, for the sun's going to set on them.
That's for sure. Ain't more than about 2 good working hours left.
Hey, Paul, there's commencing now. Look, Mr. Drysdale's going to shovel.
Mr. Drysdale is now putting a foot on the shovel and attempting to get the first spade of dirt, which seems to be a little tough to do right at this time. Very successful with the small spade of dirt. Cameramen are taking pictures of him.
You call that shoveling?
Them city folks sure think a heap of it. They's clapping to beat the dickens.
He's taking a picture of him, too.
Well, he's sure tired quick. He's handing a shovel to them other fellas.
And now Mr. Lucas and Mr. Pendleton are both on the shovel, and...
Why, the two of them together can't dig worth shucks.
Folks is clapping again, and they's taking more pictures.
Look, now all 3 of them's going at it.
Mr. Drysdale, Mr. Pendleton, and Mr. Lucas all pick up a full spade of dirt with the golden shovel for the Commerce Bank of Beverly Hills.
Did you see that, Jed?
Pitiful, just pitiful.
They better figure on building this bank without a cellar.
Well, it looks like that's what they're going to do. Mr. Drysdale's leaving with the shovel.
Goodbye,
Where's he going?
I reckon he had to get back to the old bank to pack up all the money and stuff and move it over here.
All the rest of his friends helping. I bet you we can build his new bank before he gets back.
Well, let's get to it.
Where's everybody going?
Dogged if I know.
Shame on you lazy loafers. Come back!
Hey, there's a bank to be put up.
Come back!
You're whistling to the wind, Ellie Mae. Them fair weather friends are scattering like young'uns let out of school.
The minute poor Mr. Drysdale back is turned.
Well, we might as well go home, too.
Now, hold on. Mr. Drysdale finds out about this, it'll break his heart.
Well, what can we do, Paul?
We can put up his bank for him. That's what we can do.
Just us?
It'll get dark on us, Jed.
Full moon tonight. We can work right on through if we have to. Now, Jethro, you and me'll commence toting the lumber. Ellie Mae, you get the tools. Granny, you take your sharp stick and mark off a bank on the ground.
I ain't never marked off a bank.
It's the first time for everything. Now, come on, get busy.
Oh, good morning, Chief.
Good morning.
How did the groundbreaking ceremonies go?
Oh, a little chaotic, but the ground finally got broken.
It's going to be a beautiful structure.
Yes, I can't wait to see those steel girders start to rise. Well, they should be bringing in the heavy equipment any time now.
I can't believe it.
What is it, Chief? What do you see?
Never mind, you wouldn't believe it either. Now, let's get over there.
Well, Jethro, considering the moon was behind the clouds most of the night, we throwed up a right tolerable barn.
A bank?
Yeah.
Hey, Paul, here's the only piece of lumber of that whole pile that we ain't used.
Well, we had no to waste it, Ellie. I'll tell you what, Jethro, you paint welcome on there, and we'll nail it to the front door right here.
Yes, sir. Well, how's things going inside, Granny?
Jed, it's a trod-down, hard dirt floor. But by dingies, it's clean.
Morning, Mr. Drysdale, Miss Jane.
What is this?
That's your new bank.
Yeah, we'd have made it bigger, but we run out of lumber.
Did you build this?
You can bet your life that we...
Mr. Drysdale's friends built his bank for him just like he was counting on him to.
Yeah, that's right. They did.
They sure did.
Yeah, they did.
It was a dandy bank racing. Too bad you missed it.
It's a magnificent bank. Isn't it, Chief?
Oh, yes, it's great. It's beautiful. It's terrific. It's fabulous. It's stupendous.
Mr. Drysdale,
Yeah.
your friends done the best they could with what was here. But if I was you, I'd give some thought to putting up a bigger, stouter building later on with maybe bricks and cement and all.
By golly, I may just take your advice.
Oh, Ellie's fella said I could try on his frogman's outfit.
Oh, is Mark here?
Oh, not yet, but he's coming.
Well, don't let Granny see you wearing this stuff.
Hey, how come Granny's so dead set against Ellie's fella being a frogman?
Granny's scared of the water. I remember back home, when the cricket rise, you couldn't get it across it for love nor money.
I recollect Ma saying that Granny wouldn't set foot outside the cabin in a heavy rain.
That's a fact. I remember one time the crick rose, cut Granny off from her still for a whole month.
Well, what'd she do?
Nothing she could do. Considering the fact we was having a flood, that was the longest dry spell Granny ever had.
Has she always been like that?
Long as I can remember. I wish I had a nickel for every time I heard that woman say,
If the good Lord had meant us to swim in the water, he'd have give us fins and gills. And I hope you explain that to Mark Templeton.
But Granny, Mark can't stay out of the water. It's his job. He's a Navy frogman.
Then get him to quit.
But we both likes the water.
Ellie, honey, I ain't knocking the water. For washing clothes and dishes, it's just fine. And for a chaser, you can't beat it. Just don't swim in it.
I gotta go along with Granny on one thing. That outfit sure does make you look ugly.
Down at the bottom of the ocean ain't nobody gonna see you but fish. And they's kind of ugly, they're sailed.
How come everybody's so anxious to get to the bottom of the ocean?
I ain't too sure about other folks, but I wants to find them old treasure ships full of gold that the pirates sunk.
They's down there, huh?
Oh, yeah. Spanish doubloons full of galleons.
Ellie, honey, there's so many nice things Mark could be instead of a Navy frogman.
Like what?
Well, he could be a cowboy. And he could live out on the prairies and the plains where it's nice and dry. Then he'd never have to get wet again.
Well, it rains out there, don't it?
Yeah, but he'd have a horse to keep him up out of the puddles.
Granny, Mark likes the water, and so do I.
Darling, it ain't natural for humans.
It's fun, Granny. Even Jethro wants to be a frogman.
Oh, no. If Jethro turns into a frogman, his ma will kill me.
Does Aunt Pearl hate water, too?
Honey, she won't even use it for a chaser.
Well, Jethro's done said that's what he wants to do.
Well, him I can handle. I'll just cut off his victuals.
Speaking of victuals, Mark says there's more food in the ocean than any other place.
Oh, so that's why Jethro wants to be a frogman.
Mark says there's enough food in the ocean to feed the whole world for hundreds of years.
Not after Jethro's been there for a couple of days.
Ellie Mae?
In the kitchen, Pa.
Mark's here.
Morning, Ellie. Granny.
Howdy, Mark.
Good morning, young fella. Now, Elliot, would you and your pa mind running on for a minute? I got a few things I want to say to Mark.
Oh, yes, Granny.
Now, Mark, something you want, Jed?
Yeah, I want to hear what you're going to say to Mark.
Oh, well, I was just going to tell him how much he resembled John Wayne. He's a cowboy actor, you know.
Yes, I know.
You ever think of being a cowboy?
No, I never have.
Oh, you'd sit tall in the saddle just like John. Up there where it's nice and dry.
I'm afraid I'm not much of a horseman.
Well, it's better than being a frogman.
I was afraid that was coming. Now, Granny, you're just going to have to get used to the notion that Mark likes it, Ellie is took with it, and Jethro is in a cement pond right now learning how to be a frogman.
He's in the water already?
Yes.
Oh, I gotta save him! He's Pearl's baby!
Who's Pearl?
Jethro's ma. And the only woman I know who is as scared of water as Granny.
Hello, Froggy. You can have the cement pond all to yourself. This rubber suit is hot. Once you get out of the water. Hey, there's some bugs down at the deep end.
Please don't let it be too late for Pearl's sake. Amen. Jethro, are you in there, honey boy? Speak to me. Oh, no. I didn't make it. I'm sorry, Pearl. I've done my best. But you'll be happy to know that he's alive and well and eating as usual. Come on over here, Jethro. Come on, boy. I'll try and get a pretty girl to kiss you. And if that don't work, I'll have to take you to that psychiatrist. Come on, boy. Come on over here. Stop eating them bugs and listen to me.
Well, thank you for calling, Miss Jane. I'll have Jethro come right down and fetch her. Bye.
Fetch who?
Your granny. She's down to the bank trying to get one of them pretty girls in the secretarial pool to kiss a frog.
Kiss a frog? Wait till I get there.
You leave them girls alone, Jethro. Just fetch your granny home.
I'm sorry to keep bothering you all the time, Doctor.
Not at all. That's what I'm here for.
None of the girls in the secretarial pool would help me. So now you're my only hope.
Well, I'm glad to know you have faith in me.
Oh, I do. You work wonders with Mark and Ellie.
Oh, yes, they're the frogs you brought in yesterday. Lovely couple.
Thanks to you.
Did they get married?
Not yet. We can't keep them out of the water long enough to have a wedding.
Still hoping for a formal wedding, are you?
Oh, sure. Jethro here is going to be the best man.
Oh, this is Jethro.
Yeah. He's Ellie's cousin, Pearl's boy.
I don't believe I've ever heard you mention Pearl before.
Well, Pearl is Jethro's mama. She's a first cousin to Jed, Ellie's pa. That makes her Ellie's second cousin, but Ellie calls her Aunt Pearl, just like Jethro calls Jed Uncle, even though, strictly speaking, they second cousins, too.
Well, that's quite a family.
Yeah. And I'm granny to all of them.
Well, how nice. Well, now, what can I do to help you today?
You can tell Jethro here to stay out of the water. He won't listen to me.
Jethro, stay out of the water, please. For Granny's sake.
And for his mama's sake. Pearl is scared to death of water.
His mother is scared of water?
Won't go near it.
Well, that's very unusual. She's aquatic.
No, she's a Bodine. I don't recollect aquatics. Anyway, Pearl married Fred Bodine, handsome rascal. He come up from Branson, swept Pearl right off of her feet. Poor fella drowned, though.
He drowned?
When Jethro was still a baby. I think that's why Pearl is so scared of water. His paw drowning that way.
Why, don't believe I've ever heard of one of them drowning.
Far as I know, he's the only Bodine who ever did. He was out in a boat with Jim Owen, and it turned over.
And he couldn't swim to shore?
No. The water in Lake Taneycomo is just icy cold. Old Jim died for him time after time. They finally pulled him out unconscious.
Well, old Jim certainly tried his best.
You know Jim, do you?
Not personally, no.
He just wrote a book.
Oh, about the tragedy.
No, it's a book of jokes and funny stories.
Well, he certainly got over it, didn't he?
Well, time is the great healer, as us doctors know.
You're a doctor?
Oh, yeah.
Are you an MD?
That's right. Mountain doctor. I just wish I was good enough to cure Jethro. But you're the only one that can do that. So I'll leave him with you.
Well, now, just exactly what am I supposed to do for Jethro?
Turn him back the way he was, like you done for Mark and Ellie. You work wonders with them. Ellie's beautiful and Mark's handsome as can be.
Oh, and you want me to make Jethro here handsome?
No, I'll settle for having him the way he was.
You rang, Chief?
I've been ringing for 20 minutes. Where have you been?
I took the girls in the secretarial pool out for a coffee break. They've been through quite an ordeal.
What happened?
Well, it seems Granny took that frog of hers in and insisted they kiss the loathsome creature.
Well, did they?
Well, of course not.
They're fired.
What?
Miss Hathaway, that family has $95 million in this bank. And if they want something kissed, it gets kissed.
But, Chief, a frog!
Frog, hog, dog. I demand loyalty and intelligence.
What is intelligent about...
Is Granny here with that frog she wants kissed?
No. Have you tried the secretarial pool?
Yeah, they wouldn't kiss me neither.
Mr. Drysdale's office. Oh, yes, Dr. Klingner. She did. Yes, well, I'll take care of it right away. Jethro, Dr. Klingner on the next floor has Granny's frog. Will you pick it up, please, and take it home?
You mean I ain't gonna get kissed?
Go see Dr. Klingner.
I ain't gonna kiss him. All right, Froggy. Hop around to the cement pond and have yourself another swim. You're commencing to look dried out.
Hello, Jed.
Hey, you look all bushed. What's the matter?
I am. That's a long walk from the bank. Even if you cut across, you gotta jump walls and climb fences.
How come you didn't let Jethro drive you?
Jed, that boy is in no shape to drive.
Why not?
Don't ask me. I might have to tell Pearl. And it's not the kind of thing you want to say twice.
Well, now you got me plumb curious. Couldn't you just...
Cage, Granny.
You're back, honey boy. Oh, let me look at you. Turn around. Oh, you're all right. Jeddy's all right. Tell him he's all right, Jed.
You're all right, boy.
Oh, you're beautiful, darling. Tell him he's beautiful, Jed.
You're all right, boy.
Oh, I'm so happy to see you, darling. Pearl, sweet baby boy. Oh, Jethro, I love you. Tell him you love him, Jed.
You're all right, boy.
Oh, my baby. Oh, I could hug you. Hug him, Jed.
I'm sticking with your all right, boy.
Hey, Granny, I'm awful hungry. Can I have some victuals?
Come and sit down, darling. Granny will fix you some delicious victuals for that sweet little rosebud mouth. Look at your sweet little rosebud mouth, Jed.
This is getting sickening. See you later.
What do you want?
What do you got?
Oh, I'll fix you anything you want. Possum, ham hocks, fat back, chicken, pork chops, duck, pig's knuckles, stew, turkey, chitlins, pot roast.
That sounds okay. Hey, what do you got to go with it?
Well, youngins, how you doing?
Just fine, Paul. This scuba diving's fun. You ought to try.
That's an idea, Mr. Clampett. I think my gear will fit you.
I believe I'll pass on that.
Well, you're a good swimmer.
Well, yeah, but I ain't up to that underwater stuff.
I'll teach you. It's easy.
Come on, Paul, try.
No, darling, I'm a little over the hill for this kind of thing.
A lot of people your age scuba dive.
Sure enough?
I know a man got to be 20 years older than you are. Dives there every day.
Is that a fact?
Come on, Paul, be a sport.
Well, I guess it wouldn't do no harm to give it a try.
That's the spirit.
You'll like it.
Here's the pig knuckles, honey boy. I thought sure I had some cold chicken, but I'm plumb out.
Doggone it, Granny. Had my heart set on chicken drumsticks.
Well, darling, you just keep snacking on this, and I'll go see if I can find a chicken.
Hey, why don't you gig a couple of them old bullfrogs? Frog leg is pretty near as good as chicken.
Jethro, darling, promise me that you'll never touch another frog leg as long as you live.
Why not?
You never know who you might be eating. Oh, listen. How would you like some salted down possum shanks instead of chicken?
Fine with me.
I just happen to have a jar of them over here in the cupboard. I was saving them for a special occasion. And you're it, honey boy.
Jethro, can Paul borrow your swimming trunks?
Sure, Ellie. He's up in my room.
Ellie Mae, what does your pa want with swimming trunks?
Mark's gonna learn him to be a frogman.
Oh, no. Not him, too.
Jethro, did Ellie come through here?
Yes, sir. She's fetching my swim trunks for you.
Well, I don't want her to say nothing to Granny about me being a frogman. But I'm going to give it a try.
Oh, no, you ain't.
Granny, get off.
You ain't gonna be no frogman. You're the last one I got left.
Jethro, get this wildcat off my back.
Okay, Uncle Jed. Quick as I finish these victuals.
Get her off now.
Here's the swimming trunks, Pa.
We'd best keep 'em out of sight, Ellie. Your granny's having a conniption fit.
Put me down, you lop-eared jackass!
But, Granny, you said I was your honey boy. You said I was beautiful. You said I had a rosebud mouth.
If I could get a swing at you, you'd have a rosebud nose.
Take her up to her room, Jethro.
Ellie, don't let your pa become a frogman. I'm begging you.
But he wants to, Granny.
Then get a gun and shoot me. I don't want to live with a family of frogs.
Take her on up, Jethro. We'll give her one of them tranquilizers.
Give me gas. Hang me. Poleaxe me. Please, somebody end my suffering.
You go on down to the cement pond, Ellie. Quick as we get Granny quiet, I'll join you.
Yes, sir, Pa.
Granny, I'll put you on your bed so she can have a little nap.
Don't bother. Just throw me in my cedar chest, nail the lid down, and bury me 6 feet deep.
Okay.
What are you doing, boy?
Oh, Granny wants to be buried in her cedar chest. You nail down the lid, I'll go dig a hole.
Take her out of there.
But you always told me to obey Granny.
Take her out of there and put her on the bed.
Golly.
Don't bother, Jethro. Just throw me out the window.
What are you doing now?
Well, Granny wants to get thrown out the window. Would you please open it for me?
Bring her back here like I said.
You tell me to do one thing, she tells me to do another. I don't know who to listen to.
Listen to me. Put her on the bed. Your Granny swallowed it.
Is it poison?
Of course not.
Then I don't want it.
I know where there's some poison.
Boy, wait out in the hall.
Oh, you try to please everybody, and all you get is yelled at. You said this, I said that. I don't know who to listen to. You tell me.
Hey, take one of these tranquilizers, Granny.
Well, if I do, will you promise to stay out of the water?
No, I won't.
Well, I'm warning you. Jethro will eat your legs.
Maybe you better take 2 of these.
Now, you run along, Jed. I'll be just fine.
That's good. Just rest.
Yeah, that's what I'll do, Jed. I'll just rest.
That's my Granny.
You're a dear, sweet man, Jed. I love you.
I love you too, Granny. No use trying the window. I nail it shut.
You're a mean man, Jed. And you're gonna be a mean frog.
That was wonderful, Mr. Clampett. Did you say something? You were great. Just great. Thank you.
How'd you like it, Pa?
It's fun, just like you said.
Father's just like you and Jethro, a natural. Now, we can only convince Granny.
Forget it. Oh, did you unlock Granny's door?
Yes, sir, Pa.
How is she?
Well, she's just laying on her bed muttering to herself about how she'd have to go see Dr. Klingner again.
Where you going, Granny?
Down to the cement pond and get the latest frog.
Oh, did you change your mind? Gonna cook his legs for me?
Cannibal.
Excuse me, young'uns, I'll get shed of this outfit.
Who's Dr. Klingner?
He's a psychiatrist Granny's seeing.
Good. Maybe he can cure her aquaphobia.
Her what?
Fear of water.
Oh, I sure do hope so. Granny's pet frog.
Is that the one she named Mark?
I don't know. I can't tell them apart.
She seems to be able to. Hi, Granny.
Howdy.
Would you like a ride down to Dr. Klingner's office?
I'd appreciate that. Thank you. Where's your pa?
He's changing.
He's changed. Come on over here, Jed.
That's a different one.
I'm glad I'm not the only one she names frogs after.
Come on, Jed. Swim over here and get in your cage. We got to ride down to Dr. Klingner's office.
Oh, you taking Jed with you?
Of course, I wouldn't go without him.
You know, for a woman who hates water, she sure is crazy about frogs.
I hate to keep pestering you, Doctor, but that you done such a good job on Jethro.
Yes, he does seem to look happy.
Oh, this ain't Jethro. This is his uncle, Jed Clampett.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Clampett.
Don't apologize to him. He brought it on himself. I begged him. I pleaded with him. He wouldn't listen. You'd think he'd know better at his age.
Just how old is he?
He's in his 50s.
Really? I didn't know they lived that long.
Oh, yeah. His grandpa lived to be over 100.
Fantastic. Then, of course, many of the amphibious families do have a remarkable lifespan. For example, the terrapins.
I don't believe I know that family. Is they friends of the aquatics?
Yes, they're related.
Oh. Well, I hope the terrapins ain't having the trouble with their kinfolks that I'm having with mine. Especially him. I'm ashamed to admit that he's my son-in-law.
This one is your son-in-law.
Yeah, he's Ellie's pa.
Oh, Pearl's cousin, the one Jethro calls Uncle Jed.
That's right. And I'm Granny to all of them.
Yes. Well, now, what seems to be Jed's problem?
His problem is that he's a frog.
Yes, he definitely is a frog.
And it's so stupid. He's got everything.
What do you mean?
He's worth $95 million.
He is?
Owns a mansion in Beverly Hills. But is he content to stay in it? No, not him. He's got to jump in the cement pond like the rest of his family.
Well, they're just naturally drawn to water.
That's the truth. And I'm getting sick of it. Well, I'll leave him with you, and I hope you can do for him what you done for Jethro.
I'm sure I can.
Bless you, Doctor. I ain't gonna ask you how you do it. You got your professional secrets, and I got mine.
Right, Doctor.
My specialties is poultice and ricins and easing rheumatiz.
Excellent fields.
If you ever gets to aching in the joints, I got some rheumatiz medicine that's out of this world.
Will it actually cure rheumatism?
No, but it'll make you happy you got it.
Greetings, Mr. Clampett.
Howdy, Miss Jane. Come on in.
Thank you, Mr. Clampett. I'm afraid I haven't time. Dr. Klingner asked me to return Granny's frog. She left it in his office again.
Funny how that woman has took a fondness to these little critters.
Apparently. Well, au revoir.
Oh, thank you.
If you're not hopping hedges, you're dodging dogs. Get off of there and go on back home, you little mutt.
Here's your cage back, Granny.
Glory, hallelujah, Dr. Klingner done it again.
That's right.
Do you have a craving to eat bugs, Jed?
Of course not.
Good. Take off your shoes and I'll check your feet.
No more of this for you, Granny. You've had plenty.
Girls. What? There's a different pretty girl sleeping in pretty near every room.
I'll get dressed and go investigate.
That seemed to wake him up.
Sure did.
You all stay here. Them girls might be dangerous.
Jethro, we'll all go together. Does that sign say hotel for women?
Sure enough does.
That's Shorty Kellum. Whilst we was living in the cabin, he must have sold the mansion.
You reckon that's what happened?
I'll go ask the girls.
Never mind. We'll ask Shorty.
But you can't do that, Granny. I'll send him back to the hill.
I'll go ask the girls.
Here comes Jed. Maybe he knows about this.
It'll be more reliable if I go ask the girls.
No, it won't.
But it'll be more fun.
Morning, everybody.
Morning, Pa. Did you see our big sign?
Well, I'll be doggone. So that's how Shorty got all them women to come over here.
You knowed about the upstairs being full of girls?
Well, I seen it downstairs full of them last evening, but I didn't know they'd moved in to stay.
Shorty turned the mansion into a hotel for women.
Now I know why you gave me that cock and bull story about hanging up them clothes.
What you mean, Pa?
Well, I walked in the kitchen and caught Shorty by surprise. Shorty, Granny says your victuals is... What's all this?
My laundry, Jed. I just finished doing my washing.
This stuff belongs to you, does it?
This is what I call my dainty thing.
Sure is dainty, all right.
Yeah, real comfortable, though.
When did you take to wearing stuff like this?
Just since I come to Hollywood.
I wonder how much Shorty is charging them girls.
I'll go ask him.
Jed, will you keep this boy in check?
I'll whoop him for you, Granny.
Now, Ellie, don't start scrapping with your cousin.
How many girls do you reckon is staying in there?
I'll go count them.
Never mind, Jethro. We'll wait till they get up.
I wonder what time city girls get up.
I don't know.
I'll go find out.
Jethro, you stick with us.
I ain't scared of them little old girls.
Mighty brave, but you stick with us.
I'll commence fixing breakfast. Come on, everybody, to the kitchen.
Where do you think you're going?
If Granny's gonna fix breakfast, somebody's gotta go wake the girls.
They likely got an alarm clock.
I'll go see.
Jethro? What are you fixing to have for breakfast, Granny?
I'm just wondering what them city girls would like to eat.
I'll go ask them. Well, you're always after me to do chores, and now that I'm willing, you won't let me.
What's come wrong with me?
Where are we going?
You'll find out.
I declare that Jethro has picked up Shorty's ways. Thank goodness he's gone back home.
Well, maybe he's just hiding in the root cellar again.
Maybe you're right. I best go check.
Granny, can I go ahead and start cooking breakfast?
No. No, Ellie, just make the coffee.
Yes, ma'am.
Ellie, on second thought, just boil some water.
Yes.
Ellie.
Yes, sir?
Try not to burn it.
Uncle Jed, I can't believe you'd lock your nephew in a cage like a wild animal.
It's true.
You done violated my constitutional rights. I'm gonna get me a lawyer and throw down on you with a subpoena.
Lots of luck.
I'm taking this case to the highest court in the land. I'll go even higher. Walter Cronkite's gonna hear about this.
Jed, do you reckon that Shorty Kellums could be hiding in the root cellar?
I'll take a look.
Well, Uncle Jed sure put you in the right place.
He's gonna be sorry, though, because I'm going on a hunger strike.
Is that a fact?
Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna waste away and die right here in this cage.
Well, that's too bad, because I was just fixing bacon and eggs, ham and grits, sausage and flapjacks, steak and fried taters, and fruit and cereal.
I'll have a double helping each.
What about your hunger strike?
You don't expect me to start that on an empty stomach.
True, girls, we really are living in a mansion.
When I woke up this morning, I thought it was all a dream.
Me too. The dreamiest part is that we get all of this for only $1 a day.
With meals and maid service.
Oh, that Shorty Kellums, what a doll. I smell fresh coffee.
Me too.
Let's get dressed and come downstairs and have breakfast. Wait a minute. Shorty said we get breakfast in bed. What if Shorty serves it? Let's get dressed and then come downstairs and have breakfast.
Good morning, girls. Is everybody up?
No, just 3 of us so far.
Well, Granny asked me to find out how many for breakfast.
7 altogether.
That Granny's a great cook. She sure is.
Are you the maid who cleans our rooms and makes our beds?
Yes, ma'am. I told Mr. Kellums I'd do that.
And your father does the gardening?
That's right.
And Shorty said there was a half-wit nephew.
He must have meant Jethro. He's locked up in a cage out back.
Is he dangerous?
Well, only if you try to take his food away from him.
He won't be having breakfast with us, will he?
Oh, no, ma'am. He'll like eating his cake.
Good. Well, we'll wake the other girls and be down for breakfast.
Morning, Miss Hathaway.
Well, good morning, Chief. You're early.
Well, you know the old saying, early to bed and early to rise makes a man wealthy.
I believe that's healthy, wealthy, and wise.
Healthy and wise you can have. I'll take wealthy.
I hope you remember to bring Miss Bell with you this morning.
Who?
Jean Bell. She's employed here at the bank.
And I promised to bring her to work?
Oh, Chief, think back. She's the only member of the secretarial pool who didn't want to move into the Clampett mansion, and you wondered why.
Well, I live at home, so I wouldn't save anything.
Do you live in a mansion?
Of course not.
Do you ride to work in a limousine?
No, I ride the bus.
How much does it cost you?
50 cents a day.
That's $2.50 a week.
What are you getting at, Chief?
Well, I live next door to the Clampett mansion, and she can ride back and forth with me.
Gee, that'd be swell.
Oh, yes, I remember now. Gee, I'm sorry I forgot to pick her up. I could have collected that 50-cent bus fare.
Chief, you are a miserable man.
I am not. I'm as happy as a lark. Now, don't forget, I'm collecting $5 a week from each of those 7 secretaries. That makes over $1,800 a year for little old me.
You are just not to be believed.
Now, look, Jed Clampett is letting those girls live in his mansion for $1 a day. If he can be a philanthropist, so can I.
You call that philanthropy? Oh, holding out $5 a week from each of those poor girls?
Well, every philanthropist has his favorite charity. I'm mine.
The only reason I continue to work for you is that when you finally get your comeuppance, I want to be there.
Big deal.
Chief, I think your comeuppance is about to come up. Miss Bell's brothers are here to see you.
Who?
Oh, you'll remember them when you see them. Come in, gentlemen.
Look, I don't want to be disturbed. I'm not into anybody. I'm not into anybody except these 2 gentlemen right here. Well, what can I do for you, gentlemen?
You can tell us why our sister left home.
Your sister?
Jean Bell. She works here, remember?
Oh, yes, lovely girl. Marvelous secretary. She's one of my favorite employees.
She said you talked her into moving away from home.
Oh, that? Well, yes, I did, but there was a reason.
We'd like to hear it.
Well, you see, she had a chance to move into this mansion.
Mansion?
Beautiful, luxurious. Believe me, your sister is living the life of a princess.
Who's the prince?
Oh, no. Nothing like that. You see, this is a hotel for women. All the single girls in my secretarial pool are staying there. Right, Miss Hathaway?
That is correct, gentlemen.
Each girl gets a private room with bath, meals, maid service, everything. And all for $1 a day.
$1 a day? In a mansion?
Am I right, Miss Hathaway?
Again, he is correct, gentlemen. You see, the mansion is owned by a truly exceptional man. He is enormously wealthy, but this has not affected his sense of values. He's simple, kind-hearted, generous, thoughtful. A true philanthropist in every...
Please, Miss Hathaway, that's enough about me. She forgot to add that I'm also very modest.
Earl, do you believe this story? Not a word of it.
Well, then I shall prove it to you. Miss Hathaway, call my hotel for women. Tell Miss Bell she need not come to work today. She can spend the whole day there.
Oh, but she...
Now! Do it quickly. I have to be firm with some of my children. Now, I'm giving your sister the day off. And the 2 of you can go and see for yourselves the luxurious surroundings which I have so generously provided for her. There, now, there's the address of the mansion. Eh?
That seems fair enough.
Well, that's another of my qualities she left out. Modest and fair. Now, you'll find a family of retainers staying at the mansion, the Clampetts. Now, they do the gardening, the cooking, housekeeping. You'll find your sisters being waited on just hand and foot.
Really, Miss Hathaway? Oh, that's wonderful. Tell Mr. Drysdale thanks ever so much. Bye. Girls, you go on without me. I've got the day off.
Ain't you going to work, Miss Jean?
No, Mr. Drysdale gave me the day off. Can I help you make the beds?
Oh, done finished with that. Now I'm going to help Granny work in the garden and make soap.
Oh, can I help too?
You know how to make lye soap?
Sure. My mother used to make it down home.
Well, all right. But I'd best give you some old clothes to wear.
Fine.
Come on.
Well, Super Stomach finally ate his fill. 4 breakfasts.
Is the girls going to work yet?
They just left.
Well, I reckon it's safe to let him out of the cage. Okay, boy, I'm gonna let you out now.
It's too late for me to forgive you now, Uncle Jed.
Eh?
Yes, sir. I done been humiliated clean past what my sensitive nature can stand. You're gonna pay a terrible price for what you done to me.
What price is that?
You're gonna lose me. I'm running away from home.
Is that a fact?
Yes, sir. When animals is free to swing and human beings is locked in cages, well, that's all the hint I need.
So you're leaving home?
My pride demands it. So take a last look at your favorite nephew.
Okay, I took it.
This is goodbye, Uncle Jed.
Bye, boy.
We won't meet again till you see me on the other side.
The other side of what?
The table. I'll be home for supper.
Mr. Drysdale's done give Jean the day off, so she's gonna help us with the chores.
Bless your heart. But I gotta warn you, making lye soap and digging in the garden and such ain't like secretary work.
Oh, I know that.
Jean says her ma used to make lye soap.
Is that a fact?
Yes, ma'am. She made soul food, too, but not as good as yours.
Oh, I have got a few cooking secrets.
Could you teach me the secret of those hog jaws and collard greens you made last night?
I'd be glad to. As soon as the other chores is done, we'll commence with the cooking lesson.
Oh, wonderful.
Ellie, you get the fire going under the soap kettle.
Yes, Ken.
I'm glad to see you wearing working duds. I ought to change out of my good clothes, too. I'll join you and Ellie out back.
Jean, have you ever seen a swinging cat?
Seen one. Honey, I swung with one.
Come meet Rusty and Duke, too.
Duke? That's the name of the cat I used to swing with.
My Duke's a dog.
So was mine. The nephew got out.
Oh, don't worry about Jethro. This is Rusty, my swinging cat.
Oh, you were talking about a four-legged cat.
They another kind?
You don't swing much, do you?
Every chance that I get, I swing with this cat. He just loves it.
Honey, I gotta tell you, there's another way to swing and another kind of cat.
This is it, Cookie. Hotel for women. Yeah, this really is a mansion. You can't blame Jean for wanting to live in a place like this.
Come in. Oh, howdy, boys.
Hello. How do you do?
I'm sorry to tell you, but this hotel is just for girls.
We know that. We just came here to see our sister, Jean Bell.
Oh, yeah, little Jeannie. Well, she ain't here in the house. She's out in the cabin out back.
Cabin?
Come on, I'll show you where she is.
You know, Jean, I think it needs more renderings.
I think you're right.
Well, Granny made chitlins this morning. I reckon there's a can of renderings in the cabin.
I'll stir while you look.
Yonder she is.
What is she doing?
Making lye soap. When she's done with that, she's gonna do work in the garden, and then she's gonna get to the cooking.
Thanks very much. But don't tell our sister we were here.
Are you leaving already?
Yes, ma'am. We have to go talk to a bank president.
I know one. His name is Mr. Drysdale.
That's the one we're going to talk to.
Well, give him my love.
We'll do that. He's going to need all the love he can get.
How'd the lye soap turn out, Granny?
Oh, just dandy, Jed. That Jean Bell can make lye soap pert near as good as me.
Where is she?
Her and Ellie's out digging taters. They've already picked 2 bushels of collard greens, weeded the turnip patch, and hoed the beans.
Well, doggies. That little Jean is a dandy worker for a city girl.
Oh, Jed, she's a hill girl.
Howdy, Pop. You know Miss Jean Bell.
I sure do. Looks like you girls got a dandy mess of taters.
Yes, sir.
Granny, would you like for us to wash and peel them?
No, I'll do that. You 2 deserves a rest.
Hey, Jean, would you like to go for a swim?
Oh, that sounds great.
Well, come on. Be back directly, Granny.
Take your time.
Granny, would you show me how to make that possum pie you had last night?
You bet I will, darling.
Thank you, Granny.
I'll see who it is, Jean. Oh, howdy, Mr. Drysdale. Come on in.
Thank you, Ellie. Well, it looks like you've really taken advantage of your day off, Miss Bell.
Does that mean it's over?
Have your brothers come to see you?
No, sir.
Then it's not over. Enjoy yourself. Have fun.
Mr. Drysdale.
Yes.
Want to go swimming with us?
No, I'll get back to the bank. I just want to see how things look, and they look real good. Goodbye, girls.
He sure is a nice man to have for a boss, ain't he?
He is today. For some strange reason.
All right, Miss Hathaway, bring in your dictation book. We'll get... Who did this?
One of the two boys waiting in your office.
All right, who's a smart Alec who did this?
Me.
Oh, that was real smart, Alec. No, it's Earl, isn't it?
Right.
It's great printing, just great. What's the idea?
We went to see our sister.
Oh, good. Then you had a first-hand picture of the life she's leading.
Right.
You saw the palatial mansion?
Right.
You saw the luxurious surroundings?
Right.
You saw the lovely gardens, the beautiful swimming pool?
Right.
And you saw your sister enjoying all that?
Wrong.
Wrong?
Right.
When I saw her, she was having a ball.
You have a funny idea of how to have a ball.
Fella, something must be wrong.
Right.
Well, maybe you better go back and have another look.
Would you like to come with us?
Would you like me to come with you?
We would.
Then I'm coming with you.
Right on.
Well, you girls have a good swim?
Just dandy, Pa.
It was beautiful, and now we had to go back to work.
Granny's gonna learn Jean her secrets of cooking soul food.
Well, you won't find a better teacher.
I'm ready for my cooking lesson, Granny.
Good. Here, put on this apron.
Do I get a cooking lesson too, Granny?
Well, darling, I think your talents run more in other directions.
Like scrapping.
Scrapping?
Yeah, you know, like cutting up scraps to make quilts.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh, thank you. I'd like to do that.
What shall I do first, Granny?
Well, you can come in fixing the dough to make the possum pie crust. Jed, can I see you for a minute?
Sure.
Jed, I got a problem.
What is it?
I am plumb out of salted down possums.
What you gonna do?
Well, them pet possums of Ellie's is nice and fat.
Oh, no, Granny. You ain't putting Bonnie and Clyde in no pie.
But I promised Jean.
I tell you what, Jethro has just come back from running away, and him and me will take a ride out in the country and bring you back a brace of them.
Good.
Granny, want to show me what to cut up for quilt scraps?
Yes, darling. Jeannie, you can be simmering the hog jows and the collard greens while you make the pie crust.
All right, Granny.
Come on, darling. We'll go up to the attic and look for some material to do the quilting with.
Yes, ma'am.
Why are we coming out here? This is where the help lives.
Right. And our sister is it.
Oh, no. Your sister lives in the mansion.
We don't think so.
Oh. Gentlemen, believe me, something is wrong.
Right.
Now, you fellas go back to the bank and wait for me. I'll straighten this out.
Hi, Mr. Drysdale.
What are you doing?
Making possum pie.
You're not supposed to be doing this kind of work.
But I want to.
Nonsense. Now, go put on your good clothes. You're coming back to the bank.
Please let me stay and finish my possum pie, my hog jaws, and collard greens.
Nothing doing. You're coming with me.
Please, Mr. Drysdale. Please don't make me go back there.
You're going back where you belong, and that's that. I've had enough trouble with you. Come.
Where do you suppose he's taking her now? Let's follow him and find out. Right.
Please, Mr. Drysdale, I promise Grandma
Never mind what you promised, Granny. You're coming back to the secretarial pool where you belong. What do you think you're doing?
I'm staying right here until I explain to Granny.
Now, give me the key.
No, sir.
Okay, I'll call the locksmith.
Hey, Cookie and Earl, what are you doing here?
Looking for you. And Mr. Drysdale. Where is he now?
He just went into the mansion.
You can sit right here and cut your quilting blocks, honey.
Yes, Granny.
I'll go see how Jean's doing with the cooking.
Granny.
Mr. Drysdale, how'd you get in here?
Cookie and Earl put me in here.
Who are they?
Well, it's a long story, Granny. Can you get me out of here?
Sure. Where's the key?
I've got it.
Well, let's have it.
I can't. They made me swallow it.
Be sure to watch the Beverly Hillbillies next week when Phil Silvers returns as the world's greatest confidence man, Honest John Schaefer.
What brings you to Los Angeles, Honest John?
I'm here to perform a service for humanity.
Well, that figures, but what is it?
Mr. Clampett, what would you say is the greatest problem facing the citizens of this community?
Well, I'd have to say it was the smog.
That's smart. Precisely why I'm here. The smart.
You like it?
Oh, no. I have a plan to get rid of it.
Well, that sure would be a great blessing.
Well, actually, I'm driven by a sense of guilt. You see, I happen to own the mountains which hold the smog in the Los Angeles basin.
Right.
San Bernardino Mountains. They were a land grant to my ancestors from the Spanish king.
I didn't know you were Spanish.
While my father was a Schaefer, my mother was a...
Chief, look who's here to see you.
Howdy, Mr. Drysdale.
Howdy, Mr. Drysdale.
Sorry to bother you.
No, always a pleasure. Sit down, sit down.
Well, this ain't exactly a setting visit. All we want is a little standing up there.
Well, what can I do for you?
Well, Jethro here has got into his head he'd like to commence serving what they call his military hitch.
Yes, sir. I want to volunteer.
Well, very commendable, very patriotic, but I think the government would prefer that you finish your education first.
I done gone clean through school.
Yeah, Jethro graduated in 6th grade.
Yes, sir. Highest in my class.
You, Jethro?
Yes, ma'am. Other fellas no higher than this.
Jethro, graduating from the 6th grade is a fine accomplishment, and we're all very proud of you.
Well, thank you.
But there's more, right, Miss Hathaway?
Oh, yes, indeed. Junior high, high school, college.
Well, yes, ma'am. We know there's more education to be got. But Jethro is anxious to commence serving his country now, and Granny's on his side.
Granny?
Yes, you see, Jethro ain't got his full growth yet. And the more he grows, the more he eats. And Granny is wore to a frazzle keeping him let out and filled up. And she says, let the government feed him for a spell.
He can serve his country while his country serves him.
Of course, he can resume his education when he gets out. And by volunteering, you can choose any branch of the service you like. Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Air Corps, Coast Guard.
Have you decided what you'd like to be, Jethro?
Well, yes, ma'am. I want to be a spy.
I never give you that notion.
Well, I seen this movie about a spy, Old 007. This rascal really had himself some high old time.
007? Oh, you mean 007?
Yeah, you see, double knot spies is what you call irresistible to women. This feller spent most of his time fighting and loving and fighting and then loving some more.
See where you can hold your own fighting, but when it comes to loving, you're greener than a gourd.
Let's go swimming. Swimming is for fish. Besides, I gotta fix Jethro's britches. I've done let him out as far as they'll go, and they still hit him halfway up his drumsticks.
Maybe we could stretch him.
Maybe so. Here, grab hold of the ends here, and we'll see if they got any give to him.
Yes, ma'am. Hey, they stretched now real good.
Them britches have done give all they got.
Well, Granny, like you say, quick as Jethro joins the army or something, the government will keep him in close and feed him too.
That's right. I do hope we're doing the right thing by sending Jethro into the service. It's like giving the United States another country to feed.
Jethro does set a great store by his victuals. Well, you know he kept Pa waiting on a truck this morning because he had to have a snack before he left.
Jethro had to have a snack?
Well, he said he was going to.
My turkey. My turkey. I had a whole fresh roasted turkey in here. Jethro done snuck in, snitched it, snacked it, and snuck out.
My doggy Jethro, you're going to have a time deciding what to be. Soldier, sailor, Coast Guard, Marine, airman. All pay top money, too. Close to $20 a week.
Bet you spy makes pretty near that much. That's what I want to be, a double-knot spy.
I don't see nothing in these government folders about joining the spies. Besides, it all seemed to me like kind of a sneaky way to make a living.
Well, you ought to see this movie about them. Them double-knots lives high on the hog. Maybe the government calls them intelligence agents, like Miss Jane does.
Don't see nothing about them in here neither. Well, we'll talk about it over some new navy.
Oh, good. I ain't had nothing since breakfast but a little bitty old snack.
There's something to think about, Jethro. Do spies eat as good as soldiers and sailors?
Well, gee, I don't know. This movie didn't have much eating in it. Mostly fighting and loving.
Well, you can't keep that up for long without eating something. Another thing, do spies get to wear fancy uniforms?
Well, gee, I don't know.
You could do with some new duds. Them breeches of yours look like you're fixing to wade a creek.
But spies gets lots of other dandy things, like shoes with knives that stick out of them, and suicide pills, and cigarette lighters that take pictures.
Well, the food shoot is back. The one-man locust play. I bet you're hungry, ain't you?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
What's for victuals, Granny?
Overlooked stew.
What's that?
I'm stewing everything he overlooked. And it ain't much. Go fetch your cousin Ellie. She's swimming in the cement pond. No. Go out the front way and around. You ain't passing my icebox again without somebody riding a shotgun on you. You have done snitched your last snack.
Now, Granny, all growing boys eats between meals.
That one eats between bites. Here's the outfit Jethro ought to join up with. The Marines.
How come you picked them?
Well, at least they can feed them. They got fish ponds down there the size of this house.
Down where?
Marine land.
Yeah. We went fishing down there once. Right friendly bunch.
Fish wasn't so friendly. Especially that big goomer they called a whale.
Granny, you hadn't ought to try to catch him. He was just too much fish for one little woman like you.
The fish ain't been born that's too much for me.
All right, forget it.
I ain't about to forget it. I vowed I'd come back and get him, and this is my chance. When Jethro goes down to join up with the Marines, I'm going with him.
Now, hold on, Granny. Jethro ain't said he'd join the Marines.
I said it for him.
Now, Granny, Jethro is the one that's going to serve, and Jethro is the one that's going to choose. And it ain't right for you to try to force him into the Marines just so you can get back at that fish. You hear?
Yes, sir, Jed.
I mean it.
Yes, sir, Jed. You're the head of the clan. I wouldn't go again your word.
All right. Let's go have some victuals.
You're right, Jed. Anything you say, your word is law. I'm just a poor, old, weak, obedient woman.
May, come on into victuals.
Jethro, where did you get them bananas?
Remember that big tree we thought was an elm? These was growing on them.
Them Skipper's bananas. A reward if he learned to swim.
Shucks, Ellie. Swimming's easy. I could learn him in no time. Why, just pick him up and throw him in. That's the way Uncle Jed learned me.
Attaboy, Skip. Come on.
If you're in for plenty of trouble, boy, you just pushed yourself a double-knot intelligence agent.
Help Jethro to serve his country the best he knows how. Help him to be a good soldier, a good sailor, whatever he decides to be. Thank you. Amen.
Amen. Paul, when Jethro goes into service, can I get me a critter to swim with?
What kind of a critter?
Swimming critter. Tried to learn Skip, but he don't care about it.
There's lots of swimming critters down to Marine land.
Granny.
I ain't talking to Jethro. He ain't even here. I'm talking to Ellie. Remember all them friendly seals and porpoises and things?
I sure do. Pa, could I get me one?
If Jethro was to join up with the Marines, he could bring you one home from Marineland.
Granny?
Well, he better join up with something pretty quick or we're going to starve to death.
Yeah, he didn't leave nothing for this here stew.
The stew looks fine to me. I reckon it tastes fine, too. Now let's all commence eating it and stop trying to push Jethro into the service. Of course, the quicker he goes in, the quicker he'll get out.
Hey, Granny, can I come in now?
Here you dry?
Yes, ma'am. I'd run till I'm bone dry.
All right, then.
Help yourself to some stew, Jethro.
Thank you.
Wait, don't take it all. Well, sit down till you move.
I can't, Uncle Jed. These pants will cut me in two. I'll eat just standing.
You go eat over to the sink here.
Yes, sir.
Wait, you forgot your... Join the Marines.
I wonder how that got there.
I wonder.
Greetings.
Oh, howdy, Miss Jane.
Oh, don't let me disturb your lunch. I just brought a pin-up picture for our departing serviceman.
A pin-up picture?
Yes. You think it was too daring of me to pose like that?
Yeah, I reckon not. The bear was dead, wasn't he?
Well, Jethro, have you decided what you're going to be?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Like I keep telling you. I'm going to be a double-knot spy.
Hey, Jethro, what's a double-knot spy?
That's a feller that goes around fighting and loving and saving his country.
Well, how?
He gets other spies to tell their secrets. If it's a man spy, old Double Knot's got a weapon. And if it's a lady, well, he hugs and kisses her, and first thing you know, she's blabbing secrets to beat the band.
First off, we got to get him out of that spy notion.
I have an idea.
What is it?
I will convince him he's not qualified to be a spy. Contrive to leave me alone with him.
You gonna have some stew?
Ain't that what I just had?
Yeah, I reckon it was. Oh, Granny, Ellie Mae, y'all come out with me to the pantry. I got something I want to show you.
Right there, Jed.
You stay here with Miss Jane.
Hey, but Uncle Jed, what about...
It ain't nothing to eat.
Oh.
Jethro?
Yeah?
I'm going to give you a spy test.
Well, hot dog!
Now, I have a very important secret, and you must get me to tell you what it is. But if you fail, you cannot be a spy.
Okay. Hey, let's pretend we's meeting in a foreign country. That's where double knots hang out, mostly. Howdy.
Well, hello there.
You a spy?
Yes?
Me too. You got any secrets?
Yes?
What are they?
I won't tell.
That's what you think, baby. Okay, let's have it. No.
No.
We'll see about that. Okay, commence blabbing.
No.
No again?
I refuse to tell my secrets.
Well, guess that means I can't be a spy.
Oh, don't give up so easily.
Well, I done kissed you twice and hugged you to boot.
You've got to do everything you can to make me talk.
Sure it's all right with you?
I'm a spy. You've got to expect these things.
You'll talk this time, I guarantee it.
No, I won't.
Oh, yes, you will. That's like a what? Gee, I don't want to, Miss Jane, but shuck heck fire. What else can a fella do?
And I gotta have a long talk with that boy.
Come on. Time's wasted. Let's get to Marineland.
Granny, what's that rope for?
To lasso my whale. He's too big for a hook and line.
Now, Jethro, are you sure joining the Marines is what you want to do?
No, sir. What I want to do is be a spy. Miss Jane says I got to graduate college first. Shucks, by then I'll be too old to do any of that double knot hugging and kissing or even fighting. I'll be pretty near 25.
Yeah, that's over the hill, all right.
Hey, Paul, can I fetch on me a swimming critter from Marineland?
We'll see, Ellie. Jethro ain't even joined yet.
Well, how about if and I join the Marines, too?
Well, I'm afraid not, Ellie. It says here in the paper that they can build men, but I don't see how they can build one out of you. Come along, Jethro. Let's see what the sign said.
Hot dog, look at that. Marines gets fed 6 times a day.
Yeah, you ought to be able to manage on 6 squares a day, Jethro.
With a few snacks thrown in. This is the outfit to join up with, Jethro.
I wonder where I go to volunteer, though.
There's a sign yonder on that there fence.
Let's drive up there.
Wanted. Young man for training and feeding. That's me.
Wait a minute, there's more on that sign now. Must be expert diver.
Uncle Jed, if they feed me right, I'll give them any kind of dives they want. From belly flops to double somersaults.
Here comes a young fella. Maybe he can tell you where to join up.
Well, can I help you folks?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We was just reading your sign there, and...
And this fine, young, handsome, good-looking fella is volunteering.
Well, good diver, are you?
Best in the whole world.
Granny, let's not stretch the truth. He is at home in the water.
Ever worn a wetsuit?
Well, shucks, yeah, I had on a wetsuit just this morning.
That's right.
Well, let's talk about training. You know, some of these marine mammals you'll be working with are pretty smart.
Not as smart as Jethro. Why, he's the finest, bestest, most educated...
Granny, let's stick to the truth. The boy has graduated school.
You're highest in my class, too.
Jethro is a fine, upstanding, honest, hard-working young man.
Has he had any feeding experience?
Mister, for his age, I'll put him up against anybody in the world.
Glad to hear that. We have 6 feedings a day, 7 on Sunday.
Ooh! How soon can I get started?
Well, we got a feeding just about now. I'll get you some gear. We'll see what you can do.
Hot diggity dump!
Oh, you mind if we go in with him for a minute, just to see he gets started on the right foot?
Sure. Go right in through this gate.
Leave me off at the porpoises. I'm the whale pond. That is my swimming critter. Let me off. I like you. As quick as Jethro joins up, I'm going to see can I take you home. And I'm going to put you in a cement pond. Me and you will learn Skipper to swim. Do you like that?
Well, I had a little trouble finding gear to fit Jethro. He's bigger than the rest of our divers.
He's a husky boy, all right.
Finally located one of the old style suits that was big enough.
Well, that's mighty nice of you to do that for the boy.
Well, that's my job. I'm general factotum. See you later.
Doggies. That's the closest I've ever been to a general.
Where are you, Mr. Phil? Come on up so I can get a look at you. Don't be afraid. It's just me, Granny. I won't hurt you. Where are you, you big fraidy cat? Come on up here, I dare you. He's bigger than I remember.
Uncle Jed, it's me.
Jethro? What are you doing in that get-up?
This is what that feller told me to put on.
Well, I reckon you just about got to do what he says. He's the general.
Boy, I sure hope the Marines don't do much marching. These shoes must weigh 100 pounds.
Couldn't stop, though. You're a long time wearing through them soles.
You ought to help this belt he give me. It weighs another 100. So does this dad-blasted helmet.
Jethro, I wouldn't do a lot of belly aching right away. The general went to a lot of trouble to find you one of them suits that'd fit you.
Yeah, well, he can have it back. I'm plumb tuckered out just walking here.
That's why they feed you 6 times a day.
But Uncle Jed, look what they give me to eat. Raw fish.
You're right generous helping.
But Uncle Jed, I can't eat raw fish.
I'm sure the general don't expect you to.
Well, what does he expect me to do with them?
Cook them. Of course. Marines has got to be able to do for themselves. Now, the general is just testing you. Get busy.
If and you can't come home with me, then I'm going to stay right here with you. That's right. I'm with you. You like it? Let's play. Come on.
Have another in Jethro's? Plenty here.
No, thanks, Uncle Jed. That'll hold me till the next feeding.
Snap to attention, Jethro. Yonder comes the general.
Hey, help me out. Help me out. Well, what in the name of Moby Dick is going on?
Boy had himself a mess of fish.
You mean you ate those fish I gave you? Oh, no, sir, not all of them. There's plenty left.
Jethro, stir up the fire and cook the general fish.
Oh, no. You're not supposed to cook those fish.
Oh, well, I reckon you can blame that on me, General. He might have ate him raw if I'd let him.
No, never mind. Grab your helmet and what's left of the fish and follow me over to the tank.
You hear that, boy? You ain't gonna have to walk in them shoes after all. General's gonna put you in the tank.
I've come back to make friends with you, Mr. Whale. Come on up and visit with me. Come on. Stick your pretty hand up. Jethro, give me there. Come see what I caught.
Fine family. Everybody went in the water except the one who was supposed to.
But Uncle Jed, if I'd have gone in with them lead shoes and belt and all, I'd have sunk like a rock.
You're a chicken, Jethro. Now I'll never get my whale.
Count your blessings, Granny. You got the greatest fish story ever told.
What you mean?
You're the first fisherman that was ever thrown back by the fish.
That ought to keep your paw out of the house for a spell. Now, you run upstairs and get dressed and get to the airport to meet your new ma.
But, Granny, the widow poke ain't my new ma yet.
She will be. I've been matchmaking better than 50 years. Ain't had a failure yet.
But what if Pa don't want to get married?
Ellie Mae, no man wants to get married. You have to lead him to the trough of happiness like you would a horse to water. But, Granny, now, Ellie Mae, leave these growed-up matters to me. Now, your pa needs a wife, and you need 'em all. The widow Poke needs a husband, and that no-account boy of hers needs a paw. I'm gonna have 4 people a-slurping from one trough of happiness. Yeah. Oh, Jed needs a wife, and Ellie needs them all. The widow needs a husband, and her boy needs a paw. And who's gonna make 'em all as happy as can be? That little old matchmaker, me.
I don't like this, not one bit. Now, Jed Clampett wouldn't get married without confiding in me. Now, I want to know what's going on.
All I know is that Granny asked me to drive Ellie Mae to the airport to meet the bride-to-be.
Well, I don't like it. Who is this widow Poke?
Apparently she's an old friend from back in the hills.
Probably after Jed for his money. I don't like it, I tell you.
I doubt that money is her motive, Chief. Her son is Johnny Poke, the teenager's favorite singer.
I don't care who he is. I still don't like it.
He's reputed to earn over $1 million a year.
$1 million a year?
Yes.
I'm beginning to like it. You'll need a good safe bank for all that money.
Ellie will be ready in a minute. What do you think about Jed getting married?
Well, it comes as quite a surprise.
It certainly does.
If you think you're surprised, wait till Jed hears about it.
You mean to say Mr. Clampett doesn't know he's getting married?
He don't even know the widow's coming to town. If he did, he would stubborn up on me like a mule in a mud puddle.
Aren't you taking a lot for granted?
Yes, it takes two to make a marriage.
Well, two's making this marriage. The widow Polk and me. Get a move on, Ellie.
Granny, I feel very strongly that we should sit down with Mr. Clampett and talk this over.
So do I.
I figured you would. That's why I sent him hunting.
Granny, you can't...
Now, you listen to me. There ain't a man been born that knows what's best for him. Jed is too young to be single and miserable.
But he's very happy.
Where'd you hear that? From him?
Well, as a matter of fact, yes.
What does he know about it? Underneath all that happiness, he's miserable. Jed needs a wife, and I'm going to see that he gets one.
Hi there, Miss Jane, Mr. George.
Hello, Ellie.
Now, Ellie will point the widow out to you, though she'll be hard to miss, 'cause she's so beautiful. The widow Polk? You just be quiet and point.
Well, I hope Mr. Clampett won't be angry with us for our part in this.
You leave Jed to me. I've been matchmaking better than 50 years. I ain't had a failure yet. By the time you get the widow back, Jed will be dressed in his courting clothes, pawing the ground, getting ready to propose. Bye.
Where's Ellie going?
Who?
Ellie Mae.
Ellie Mae who?
Ellie Mae Alfalfa Hay.
I don't think I know any.
Granny, I'm talking about the girl sitting in the back of that car.
What car?
The car going out the gate.
What gate?
Never mind.
I don't see so good, Jed.
Yeah, like a hawk, you don't see so good. Well, I reckon I'll get back to my hunting.
Jed, you gotta get all duded up.
To go hunting?
You know, the Beverly Hills style.
What kind of hunting is that?
I'll tell you about it, Jed. It's plumb wonderful. Now, you get all dressed up. You come out here and you sit on the porch with a handful of flowers and a box of candy. Now, Mr. Rabbit comes by, sees you sitting there, and he says, "What's that feller doing sitting there?" Then he says to himself, all dressed up, he can't be hunting. Then Mr. Cottontail comes hopping up to sniff the flowers. You drop your hat on him and you got yourself a rabbit.
Beverly Hills style.
Yeah,
Sound good.
sure does.
Real smart.
Ain't it?
He sniffs the flower,
Yeah,
drop the hat,
yeah,
got a rabbit.
that's right.
One question.
Ask me.
Who's the candy for?
The widow Polk. Jed, listen to me, please. Jed, now I want to explain. Go ahead and shoot me. If the time has come when a poor old lonesome woman can't invite a friend to come and visit her, then I don't want to go on living nohow.
The widow Polk is coming to see you?
Of course. But if hospitality has become a crime, then shoot me, because I'm guilty.
Is that where Ellie's going, to meet the widow?
Yeah. But, Jed, you don't have to let her in. Lock the gates on her. Sick the dogs on her. Shoot her in the leg. She'll get the hint that she ain't welcome. What does it matter that poor old Granny is dying of lonesomeness to see the dearest, sweetest friend she ever had in the whole world?
The widow Polk?
Like sisters we was. But this is your place, Jed. You don't have to let her stay. We'll go to one of them flop houses.
Flop houses?
Though goodness knows we won't get no rest with all them men beating on that beautiful woman's door all night.
What beautiful woman is that, Granny?
The widow Polk.
Granny, you used to say that she looked like the backside of a mud fence.
Well, as a child, she was plain, but she blossomed into a lovely young girl.
Girl? The widow Polk?
I don't think she's seen 30.
Oh, she's seen it all right. She just can't remember it.
Connect me with one of them flop houses.
Granny, you know good and well the widow was welcome here. I just don't want you to do no matchmaking.
Matchmaking? Why, I don't know what you're talking about. Every man is free to pick his own wife.
A man picks his own wife like a tomato picks a farmer. Especially with you working around the patch.
Jed, if I was to try matchmaking, why would I try with a widow?
Don't know why not. Don't know who's got more going for her. A widow knows all about men. The only man knows about her is dead.
I declare I don't know what makes you so suspicious.
Maybe it's because every year for 15 years you've tried to get me married.
Yeah, and you're spoiling my perfect record. What do you got against marriage anyway?
I ain't got nothing against marriage, Granny. I'm all for it.
Yeah?
Of course. Man needs a wife.
That's right.
There's a lot of things you can't blame on the government.
Worst hunting I ever did see. Hey, victuals ready, Granny?
We'll eat when our company comes. Now get upstairs and get cleaned up, both of you.
Who's coming?
The widow Polk. The finest cook in Cass County and the prettiest young woman ever to come out of the hills.
3 of them, huh? Boy, Uncle Jed, the hunt around here sure is sorry.
Well, don't worry about it, boy. Granny just taught me how to hunt Beverly Hills style.
Well, tell me.
Well, you get yourself all duded up. You sit on the front porch with a handful of flowers and a box of candy.
Yeah?
Well, then, along comes this rabbit. Sniffs the flowers. Take off your hat.
I'll see that man happy married if it kills him. Don't drive too fast, Miss Hardaway. You'll bend Johnny.
I'll be careful. The name is Hathaway.
Mrs. Polk, do you carry that picture every place you go?
Well, up to now, I ain't never been no place, but I wouldn't go without Johnny.
Ain't he beautiful, Ellie? Yes, ma'am, Miss Pokey. Sure enough is. Right handsome.
He's an angel, that's what he is. Do you like him, Miss Hardaway?
Oh, yes, indeed. The name is Hathaway.
I understand your son's income is about $1 million a year.
Yes, and every month, rain or shine, regular as clockwork, Johnny sends me $5.
What do you do with all that money?
Well, up to now, most of it's gone to pay for this picture. Isn't he beautiful, Ellie?
Yes, ma'am, he sure enough is.
Oh, he's an angel. He sings like one, too. Have you heard my boy sing, Miss Hardaway?
Hathaway. Yes, he's excellent.
I hope he's putting all his money in a good, safe bank.
He sings in a gold suit. Have you seen him in his gold suit, Ellie?
No, ma'am, I ain't.
Me neither. It was sure nice of your granny to pay my way out here so that I could see Johnny.
To see Johnny? Well, didn't she say anything about your getting married?
Well, yes, she did mention something about marrying Jed, but I'd have to ask Johnny first. Isn't he beautiful, Ellie?
Yes, ma'am, he sure enough is.
The salt of the earth, that boy.
By the way, where's he salting away all his money?
Mr. Drysdale is president of our finest bank.
Oh, well, what bank is that, Miss Hardaway?
Hathaway. And it's the same bank where Mr. Clampett has his account. Oh, perhaps your son would like to become a depositor.
Well, I'll speak to him about it.
Wonderful.
Will you ask Miss Hardaway to slow down? She's a-bending Johnny again.
Slow down, Miss Hardaway.
Well, howdy, folks. Welcome to California, will it?
Oh, Jed, you shouldn't have done it.
Well, matter of fact, dandy big picture of your boy, ain't it?
Ain't he beautiful?
May I carry him into the house for you, Mrs. Polk?
Yes, but handle him careful. Johnny Polk!
Hiya, Granny. Let's twist.
I'll twist your neck off if you spent the money I sent your ma. That was for her to come out here and marry Jed.
So you ain't matchmaking, huh?
Jed, wait, I can explain everything. I hope.
Here we are.
Well, Mrs. Pope, what do you think of Mr. Clappett's match?
Well, let's see now. Where'll I put my phonograph? How about right here, Miss Hardaway?
I see you have one of the new transistor portables. Very fine.
I had to sell my cap and walk all the way to Sibley to buy that. And I got all of Johnny's albums. Every time a new one comes out, I sell a pig and buy it. That's my boy. Ain't he beautiful? And he sings like an angel.
I'm a dragster's whale. I'm a rocket's tail.
Here, Jed, shoot me. If trying to make two people happy is a crime, then I'm guilty. Shoot me.
Granny, we've been going through this for 15 years now. Why don't you give up?
'Cause at last I found the right woman for you. The one who can make you happy.
You talking about the widow Polk?
Sweetest little thing that ever drawed a breath.
Granny, her first husband was so henpecked he molted twice a year.
Are you saying that Clyde and Emma Polk didn't have a happy marriage?
No, as I recall, marriage was real happy. It was a living together afterward that caused all the trouble.
All right, Jed. I can see the widow ain't welcome. Connect me with one of them flop houses. Jed, I'm calling one of them flop houses. The widow and me will be leaving right away.
Better take this with you, Granny. You're gonna need it to stand off them fellas that's gonna be beating on a widow's door all night. Pass you something, Witter?
I reckon not.
No trouble at all with these handy pot passers.
The whole place is handy, Emma. No trouble at all to take care of. Have you seen this pretty green tablecloth? Glued right onto the table.
Then sakes.
Never have to take it off to wash it. Just go over it with a wet rag now and then. Have you seen this thing? Keeps the plates from sliding off the table.
I never seen the like.
Ah, that ain't nothing. Take a look at them handy pockets built right into the table.
I'll be sweet. What they for?
We don't know.
I'm terribly sorry. I hope you'll excuse me. That was my wife calling.
How long you been married, Mr. Drysdale?
20 years.
Oh, ain't that wonderful? They've had 20 years of happiness.
No, we had 25 years of happiness. Then we got married.
I reckon many a man has lost his best friend by marrying her.
Jed, a cut-up, always funnin'. I think that's what kept him so young.
No doubt.
What's your secret, widow? Emma. What's your secret?
Well, if we're a tellin', I reckon my worst one is, I hit the jug a little. Just a nip or two on cold days.
The widow fun's just like Jed. I guess that's what kept them both so young.
Remarkably youthful.
Uncle Jed and the widow?
Jethro, it ain't polite to talk with your mouth full.
Well, my mouth ain't full.
Then fill it.
But I'm done eating, Granny.
Granny, I reckon we're all done eating.
Oh, then good. Now, while the table is being cleared and the dishes washed, maybe our young couple would like to go for a walk or a drive.
We sure would. Come on, Jethro.
Sit down. I'm talking about the young couple at the head of the table.
Well, matter of fact, widow, I would like a couple of words with you alone.
The parlor is empty. Draw the drapes. It makes it more cozy. And have some of them sour lemon drops. It gets you all puckered up. I've been matchmaking better than 50 years. Ain't had a failure yet.
Sit down a minute, widow. There's something I ought to say to you.
But I got something I ought to say to you first, Jed.
Well, what I got to say is mighty important.
But I can make mine quick and merciful. Jed, I can't marry you. Now, what did you want to say?
Come to think of it, mine ain't so important.
What are you doing sitting here? The parlor's empty. I'll put on some dancing music. I know how you young folk like to rock your rolls and jitter your bugs.
Jed, I hope I ain't broke your heart. Is there anything I can do to make it up to you?
Well, yes, there is, widow. You can help save me from another 15 years of Granny's matchmaking. You game?
I sure am. I've had 20 years of it myself.
Granny! Granny! Uncle Jeb and the widow's back.
Where in tarnation have they been all this time?
Looks to me like they've been to the beach.
The beach!
Yes, ma'am.
What in the name of good sense are you get up for?
Surfing, Granny. Me and Eva been making a Malibu scene along with the other kids.
Kids?
Ain't that a beautiful board, Granny? Jed learned me to hang 10.
We really shot the curls today.
Jethro, what they talking about?
Well, that there surfing talk, Granny. Shooting the curls when you come down off...
Cool it, Jethro. Granny just ain't groovy. Say, chick, let you and me go in there and put on some of them whaling Johnny Poke sides and stomp out some what to see.
I dig you, Big Daddy. You're real bull. We're going steady.
Miss Jean, what happened?
Well, Granny, isn't it just marvelous? And the credit is yours. You told them to act their age.
Well, they ain't doing it.
Hi, Granny. You want to go running hunting with us tonight?
No, I don't.
Real cube, ain't she?
Oh, Granny, ain't Jetty just too much? He plumb turns me off.
How about the drag races tomorrow, baby?
You bought it, man.